Guys, we're gonna we're gonna draw Mualani today. So it's a little different because today we're doing a commissioned stream, and hopefully it goes well. Cause like I've got tons of commissions piled up, and I kind of have to, speed up a little bit. And I am not speeding up. Sorry, guys. In case my voice sounds kind of weird today, I think I might have just damaged my voice or something, so it sounds a little, muffy or scuffy today, maybe. But anyways, that's because kind of, you know, kind of damaged my voice a little bit, maybe. Who knows? Hello, MSC. Oh, MF Crossfire. I'll just call you Crossfire. Hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for a follow. Thank you so much. And I've just got my new laptop set up for art as well. I've been trying to figure out with like the display stuff. It's not going too well, but you know, it is what it is. I guess should work. We're gonna continue rendering today. I'm almost done with it. Even though, I really feel like it could be improved a lot, but I've just kind of lost like the ability to render well recently for no reason. Maybe because I didn't draw for too long, or maybe I drew for too long. Who knows? But just kind of, not the best thing to happen. Alrighty. Yes, you can call it how you want. Nice to meet you. Cute art, by the way. Thank you so much. I guess I draw a lot. This is what I've been trying to work on, but this is not what I'm working on because of like the commissions and them taking over my workflow. I really wanted to work on this instead, but it is what it is. Even though, like, looking back into this, I feel like so much can be improved. Like, I would personally just like enlarge the canvas a little bit down the bottom so that we can see like the downside of like a little bit more of the feet as well, which would make it a little better. But who knows? I feel like for this art piece, I might just make it into like, how Sareen holds up her tarot cards. I feel like that would be a great idea. Like just a little card, canvas, I guess. Now I've also been working on this. The worst part about this is that like I am done with like the recoloring and the overlaying. Problem being that like I don't know why when I backed up this one artwork to my new laptop, it's like for some reason it just didn't like save the progress I've made, which really sucked. Like it really sucks. Man, that really sucks. Thinking what we should do right now. I feel like I have no choice but to kind of render the skin, I guess. It sucks when it happens, yeah, it does. Like, man. Just switching laptops and then that just happened. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Let's see. Hi, hello, FTR. How you doing? How's your day? I'm gonna be really honest with you. I just woke up not long ago, and it's like 2 p.m. in Australia right now, so I am kind of screwed. I just woke up, and it's like what 2 p.m. and I've been drawing again. About to head to sleep because it's 12:30 a.m. All good. Good night. Just woke up, lovely. Well, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you live. Or, you know, good night, even though that's quite unlikely. I saw you streaming. It's all good. You probably should go to sleep. Probably. Oh god, I don't know how to render anymore. You know, the thing about me is that like, I suck at anatomy. That's why I drew a lot of like full body art, because if I'm not good at it, what better way to improve than to just draw over and over again, like try to make it better every time. The problem is, now that my art style is like very, I guess it's like a huge canvas of like this subject kind of like taking up half the space of the canvas, it kind of happens that I can't render it as precise as I did anymore. Like if you look at my profile picture right now, which is like the one that I talk, you know, bottom right corner, that one, it's like done before I had this like drew a lot more of this like full body artwork. That's why it's like rendered so precisely, because I still could do that back then. But now I can't do it anymore because like everything is so small that I can just like skip a lot of like very precise rendering, which kind of sucks. Like I can't do it anymore. It looks bad. Who knows? Did you draw magical girls? I think your style is perfect to draw them. I actually want to. I feel like it would be a great idea to draw Magica, like Madoka Magica. I feel like it would be a great idea, but I'm not sure about like what more than you know, Madoka. Are there any like more magical girls? I feel like I should draw them probably. Love the video about how to color. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that maybe it helps someone. Who knows? Hopefully. We're gonna down the saturation for skin a little later, because like right now it's a little oversaturated. But not right now. Let me finish this part first. Hi, hello Lucky Apple. Madoka is great. I want to draw them, but it's super hard for you to get that style. Too much folds. Wait, let me search up her excuse me. Let me search up her you know. But I have like I need to draw this. I need to draw this, and then there's another commission. And there's also this. And then there's like also DTIY's prizes, and I haven't done that yet. And I also need to draw the Herda for a giveaway. So that kind of sucks, I guess. Love the way you did the hair. Thank you. And luckily for you, I am actually planning to do a hair tips tutorial. Like I'm not sure how, like if I would make a tutorial about hair, but I might make a video about like quick tips for drawing hair. Maybe that would help. Who knows? Let me search it up. Magica Madoka. I also really wanted to draw Mao Mao. No, Mao Mao from Apothecary Diaries. I feel like that would be a great idea. Oh hey, and I'm Cantonese, so that's pretty culturally accurate. Even though the anime is from Japan. Yeah, it looks good. I feel like my style would suit for Madoka. You're bad at coloring and having stuff relevant to a light source trying to learn. Not gonna lie, I'm in the same boat with you, because like if you look into it, the light sources of this piece is also pretty wrong. It's wrong as well, but you know, we're just trying to improve over time. So, you know. I've also got a couple of few mistakes, and more than a couple of few actually. Always drew since you was a child, but never tried drawing to improve. I've also been drawing ever since I was a kid. Of course, without iPad, because like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure iPad wasn't a thing when I was a kid. I think it got invented like later. So I didn't really like draw with an iPad, but I drew with a phone instead. And you know, traditionally, because like of course, never really draw digitally before it was a thing. Recently, I restarted drawing, but digital? That's also a good idea, but what I would recommend is probably still going for traditional first, because like all the fundamentals for digital are in traditional, which is always why I like, I think when you want to learn how to draw, unless you're only doing it for fun, then I don't think it matters. But if you're trying to learn how to draw, my top one advice is always to never start digital, because like, not sure how much people have ever talked about this, but you can very well be really good at traditional, but also be pretty good at digital because you've got the fundamentals. But you could be really bad at like you could be really good at digital, but you could be like really bad at traditional because you don't know the fundamentals to like traditional art, which kind of like, you know, happens because like you can just translate your skills from traditional to digital, right? Didn't your stream? Well, now you know. Welcome to a stream. Your artworks are really good. Thank you so much, Sharky. Try to use iPad, but you feel more comfortable in PC, but both are great. I think that like, give me a moment. Just gonna like reply to someone else's message. Anyways, I think that like, specifically buying a iPad for digital art was the worst decision in my life. Like, it's not that I really just specifically bought it for art, like I also bought it for other reasons, but that was one of the main reasons and I really regret it. Because like, why get it? Like, okay, you can of course, because there's also programs like Procreate, but then if you already have the money for an iPad to buy it for drawing, you might as well go for a laptop and buy like a display. I think okay, what's the price of like iPads right now? Price of iPad. Righto. Okay, so I just searched out a little bit. So an Apple iPad Pro 13-inch is about 5,000 Australian dollars. What the fuck? There's no way. Wait, let me see on Apple Store. About 1,500 CD. Ooh, okay. I'm not sure about Canadian dollars too. Wait, let me just... Canadian dollars to Australian dollar. I'm pretty sure it's pretty close though, right? 1,600. Okay, so for this price, you can't get a laptop. But what you can get is that like if you save it for like 50% more or even like twice the price, you can just get a better laptop and a like display tablet from like let's say Huion or XP Pen, right? That would be better than your iPad because like a laptop's just more functionable. It has more functionality and then like it runs a lot faster than an iPad as you would imagine because well it's an iPad, it's very thin. They can't just slot a lot of like stuff in there, right? So my recommendation is just to buy a laptop, and most people actually have one because of school, right? So you could just buy a display tablet and that's it. You don't need an iPad. Hello, Danny. Welcome to the stream. Hello, madam. Ask anything, eh? Well then, are you a fan of isekai anime? That I am currently making with 7 MC4 girls and 3 guys. Isekai, right? I have watched Re:Zero. I think maybe that's the only isekai anime I've watched. If you count, if you count Genshin as isekai as well, which I don't really think so, but a lot of people actually do, then I guess that's another one. But I really like Re:Zero. I really like how the like death loop resets and how like the MC just kind of has to like adapt to life in another world. And I think it's actually great because like you kind of see that like it doesn't just start in a completely like the anime doesn't start off the first frame with like a completely different world, but instead they kind of just isekai into it. That kind of feels like, oh, interesting. Like for me, I like it. Start drawing for a month now. You're mostly doing traditional because your Osu tablets can oh yeah, Osu tablets, I guess it could work, right? Low-key want to buy an iPad because you draw on your phone mostly. If you have a laptop, don't buy an iPad. A laptop will almost always be better than an iPad, like functionality wise. Unless your laptop's like really shit, then you know you can get an iPad. But even then, I would still recommend getting a laptop because like all around, you can use a laptop in school and in work. But are you likely to use an iPad for school and work? Not really. Like if you're in college, you're probably using like a laptop, and then if you're in work, you're definitely not going to use an iPad. That's why I think like laptop might be a better option. But if you have like more than one reason to get a iPad, then go for it because like you know people play Project Sekai on laptops as well. Also, what tablets and stuff do you recommend to start drawing? My recommendation for a complete beginner is to draw on phone first, and then if you have an iPad, then go for an iPad. Like if you have one, and if you have a laptop, then buy like a cheap like drawing tablet. It doesn't have to be a display one. Plug it in the laptop and then like try to calibrate and try to adapt to it. And if you want to up your game and get a display tablet on your laptop instead, I would recommend any brand like Huion and XP Pen. But just know that I did receive a gifted collaboration from XP Pen, and I am kind of like content creating with them now. So just take my word as like it's not a sponsor, but my honest opinion is that XP Pen has really good products because it's affordable. But if you also would like to look for alternatives, you can also look for Huion because their prices are also okay and their products are pretty good. I've tried it out, like it's pretty good. They are the two more affordable options and they're also more renowned in the industry. So you can go for it, I'd say. Join to your Discord and I'll know how you got there. YouTube recommended to me the color and render video and said, oh, welcome. Hey, welcome to the Discord. That's great, actually. I do have a PC though, but rendering is messy and feels different from your phone rendering. It's okay, like it took me, okay, I just talked about how I started from like drawing on phone, right? And the fact is, it took me about like a year or two to like adjust from phone to iPad. And it took me a long time to adjust from like iPad to computer. So it's completely fine, it's normal. Like you will get to it, you adapt to it like sooner or later. But I know your struggle. Like, I've been through it too. Thanks, by the way, madam. You said by Huion or an XP Pen. I'd say that's just my personal recommendation. You don't have to follow it. And keep in mind that I kind of am affiliated with XP Pen. So, like, take that with a grain of salt. Like, if you think I'm advertising for them, I'm not really. I'm just saying that these two companies has pretty good products. Based on my, like, experience, okay? I've bought a Huion. And XP Pen has gifted me a display tablet. I think both are pretty good. I wish I could use them both together though. Like, now that I have two like different company tablets, I kind of have to like use two drivers, and every time I have to like reinstall a driver if I want to switch it. So I'm just like sticking with my display tablet right now. Got a 15,000. No. 1,500 laptop now, and then you should get a display tablet or iPad because it's annoying to bring laptop to lectures too. Really? Okay, I'm also a first year. Okay, well, technically, yeah, I'm doing a diploma, but that's like first year in Australia. So I'm also a first year student. I'm like 17 right now. Oh, I'm actually about to be 18 next month, which is kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever seen anyone bring an iPad to school, except my friends back in Hong Kong, because like I'm originally from Hong Kong. But like, I think like it really depends on what degree you're doing. If you're doing anything like computer design, art, I'm pretty sure you have to have a laptop. Like, you can't run those kind of like applications on the iPad, right? But if you're doing like English, or like business, you can go with an iPad. Just that, like, I feel like a laptop might last you longer. Who knows, right? Let me see. I'd argue that having a laptop plus tablet is better than an iPad, even for traveling. I disagree for the traveling part, but in general, I agree because like I'm a pretty big laptop plus tablet stand, or you know, like you bought one of those normal XP Pen tablets. I think their cheapest option go down to like 30 something Australian dollars, which is like kind of similar to CAD. I think that one's pretty good. I have a coupon code if you want to use it. Like, it's in one of my Instagram posts. You can find it. I have a coupon code. ReZero is good. Also, what art stuff do you recommend to use, like Ibis Paint or something of the sort? For application, I recommend, if you have the budget, CSP. I personally believe you can just skip Procreate unless you're on iPad, because I'm pretty aware that CSP for some reason runs on subscription service on iPad, which actually like absolutely sucks. The main reason I don't use Photoshop is because of their shitty subscription. Like, and if you cancel that early, they still charge you, and I've heard stories about it. Like, hell no. And you can just skip Procreate if you're on a laptop. Like, if you have a laptop, you can skip it. I think the difference, like the upgrade difference between Ibis Paint to Procreate isn't actually as big as people think it is. But I heard about how Ibis Paint apparently now has like a time limit to how long you can use the app, which, if you ask me if it's true, because I don't know much about Ibis Paint anymore, if it's true, then just use Procreate, it's better. And Procreate is pretty affordable as well. It's really affordable. But if you've got the budget, use a just use a laptop on CSP or SAI or Krita. Some people use Krita as well, but CSP is the general go-to. It's like the alternative of Photoshop, and a lot of like professional artists also use CSP. I've seen some who use Procreate as well, but it's very uncommon. Quite uncommon actually, if you're on like the professional level, because like oftentimes your iPad can't like handle documents this big, and it like kind of glitches out. ReZero Skid also want art stuff. Oh, sorry, I was just shit. All right, I have a bad attention span. Sorry. Thanks, by the way, madam. You said Yeah, blah 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 blah. Let's see. Expensive, cheapest in your country? Probably, I'd say. UG stores are pretty affordable as well, but I'm not sure if they are available outside China. I'm not sure though. I would say it's really good for beginner artists. 100%. I started on Ibis Paint as well. Have to draw on both because your phone and PC to get to it daily. Forget how to render if you don't draw daily. It's all good. Like, it's a lot of practice. I get you. In comparison with color and rendering video, I can hear you a lot better now. Don't know what you did with mic, and it's a lot better than before. Really? I actually thought that my tutorials sounded better because like I talk softly in my tutorials, because like how I record my tutorials that I hold up my mic and just talk into the mic. So I kind of like, I'm reading off of a script, and I don't know why, I just default to like a softer tone when it reads a script. But I'll try to like talk in this tone if you guys really like it, because this is like more of my natural tone, and I kind of like higher my pitch and soften my voice in my tutorials. But I feel a lot more comfortable talking in this tone because it's my natural voice. Is this stream gonna be archived? You can check it in my live. There's like a panel on YouTube now, and then you can check it on live. Nice bottle, by the way. Thank you. I'm actually commissioning someone to rig my live 2D, and you guys will see it soon. And I'll make a comparison video of a beginner such as me and a professional, which is the artist. Happy early birthday, madam. Thank you. You're a computer science major? Yeah, you need a laptop, definitely. You're also a computer major, coding, fixing internal parts. Ooh, that sounds really awesome. I'm a design major, so the salary is probably not the best part for me, but I enjoy it. Let's go, bees. Which year are you? Second year of college. Ooh, that's interesting. First semester? Oh, you guys got a first semester? That kind of sucks. Hello, Bloody. Welcome to the stream. Freshman, first semester. I'm on my third semester on my first year right now, because I've done one semester, like I've done one trimester of foundations, and I just skipped it. So I just started my year one straight away, and I'm like on my second trimester now. What the fuck? Second year is 18 years old? It could happen. I'm on my first year, second trimester, and I'm 17. I'm gonna be starting my second year on 18 years old as well. And I'm graduating at 19 years old. so that happens, A freshman in 19 years old is normal. My friends also started like university at 19 years old as well. It's completely normal. Learning C++, that must suck so much. The funny thing is, like, in high school they kind of like went through Python, which, correct me if I'm not, because I'm not a computer person, but I'm pretty sure you don't actually use Python, right? Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just not a computer person. Kind of dropped out electronics and communication. I am planning to double major. Like, we don't have like a double major that they would print on our transcript, but I'm planning to do like a second major in replacement of like elective subjects in my credits. Because like my main major, I'm probably gonna do interior design, but my second major, I might do a visual communication. Because like, look, the employment market now isn't looking too good, and if I have a second major, it probably helps me out a lot. You know. Mainly your dream is to have a hybrid computer and auto body shop to help people. You know how expensive it is for computer screens and stuff? Yeah, it really is expensive unless you know what you're doing, right? But then most times I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm confused about what is the best for me. And I thought a long time before I actually bought this computer, because like I'm not the brightest with like computer tech. I just know a little bit about it, like just a little bit, I guess. You know. Wait, you skip foundation? Here's what happened. This is possible for two of my reasons. The first reason was that they messed up my offer. So originally I was going to finish foundations and get into Bachelor of Design starting from year 1, but then they messed up the offer and messed up the pathway. which made it happen in error such that they accepted a student that they were not meant to accept. So at the time, apparently, the pathway from design to bachelor isn't possible anymore. And it actually messed up. Like on their offer, they accepted me into like Bachelor of Design, and they like kind of screwed up because that apparently both parties, like the college and the university, wasn't aware that like it happened, and they accepted a person they actually couldn't. So what they did for me is that they told me to do a diploma instead, and I said no because like a diploma was just a replacement for year one. However, they charged me double the price. Even though I'm domestic Australian, like they still charge me double the price. So of course I said no. Like, and I told them like, look, you signed a contract with me, so now it's a legal document, and you can't just force someone else. You can't send a 17-year-old girl all the way from Asia to Australia and tell them that because something happened with your university, I now have to pay twice times more. That just doesn't work like that. You can't make me do that. Either you make me get into bachelor or you fix that up yourself. So basically, what they kind of did was that they offered for me to go to diploma instead. However, they would trim half a year off of my foundation as a compensation. Because let's say if the price for it, just hypothetically, if the price for the bachelor is like $100 for 1 year, right? The diploma costs about $200. The foundation also costs $200. So if you take half a year off of that, which is like 100, and you take like 1 year of bachelor off, which is 100 again, that adds up to 200. So now it's the same price with diploma. So I said, okay, sure. But the second reason was because of my IELTS. So I got into like my college, of course, with like high school transcripts, because like I'm too fucked to do university entrance exams because like Hong Kong's situation isn't looking very good right now, and I still stand by that. It was completely it was the right option to not do university entrance exams after looking at what happened on the news, right? But so okay, foundation is kind of like they also want you to just like strengthen your English a little bit, so which is why they also offered me a skip because I got like I didn't do very well in the writing, and I've never really revised for IELTS because I thought like people said I was gonna pass it regardless, and the entrance requirement was pretty low. It was like overall 6.5 or like 6.0, so I was certain that I would pass it, even though English is my native tongue, right? But I passed the test with like an overall of 8.0, which I actually, the one subject I kind of messed up was writing because I didn't know they have a format. Apparently they do. And like I got a 6.5 in like writing, but then for reading and listening I got a 9.0 out of 9.0. And for speaking I got an 8.0. So they looked at my IELTS transcript and thought I did pretty well. Like I might as well skip foundations. I didn't need to do it. That's why they let me skip it. Well, at least you got your justice. Happy for you. Yeah, like I was panicking so hard because I was alone in a foreign country. And I was so scared, like what happens now, right? Well, they can't just deport me because I'm not on a visa or anything. I have citizenship by descent, but it's still scary because I'm alone and like they just tell me, oh yeah, sorry, we messed up and blah blah blah, and they didn't try to compensate me. So I was like, look, regardless of what you messed up, I'm pretty sure a contract, like a offer means that it's a legal contract, and you can't like just turn back because you messed up. I'm pretty sure that's probably illegal. Currently finished with 2 episodes of your anime. However, you got like 3 versions of your first episode. You made a whole ass episode? Damn! What the hell? Good for you. That's impressive. Also good for you, madam. Justice indeed. Yeah, I just like... Okay, originally on, like, I discovered this on, like, orientation day that apparently it wasn't showing on the website anymore, which it was when I enrolled into the school and when they accepted me into the offer. And then I just asked, like, the people on the orientation day, like, the staff there, and I was like, hey, you guys reckon what's happening? And they legit told me to wait for an email, like, email them. I was like, no! School starts at March 3rd, and it's, like, 27th of February. There's like 3 days left, and you're telling me to send you an email, and it's a Saturday. Are you guys gonna go to work on Saturday? No. And I was like, no, I'm not leaving until I see whoever that's responsible for this. Like, I know I kind of sound like a Karen, but this directly involves my future and my college and my degree. So, like, no, I'm not leaving before I see whoever that's in charge of that. So they called the academic director, which is basically the principal of the college, to see me. I was like, look, you say what you have to say, I'll put you on phone with my mom. Damn, this shit confusing. Have foundation 1 year uni and you got diploma. So, basically how it works is that Australia runs on a 3-year bachelor. Like, usually, most subjects run on 3 years. So there's year 1 to year 3. But alternatively, if you would like to, you can also replace year 1 with a diploma, which is like the content of a diploma is exactly the same as a year 1, just that it runs in a smaller classroom. Like, it runs under a small class and is way more expensive. But in return, you get like a better learning environment because it's a smaller classroom. You can just ask the professor whatever you would want to. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. So I did a diploma. When it comes to Justin, you can't call it being a Karen or something like one. Yeah, like, nah. I'm getting what I need to, you know? Hina, if I may ask, when is your birthday? My birthday is 26th of November. And it's pretty funny because, like, almost 80% of my family has all of their birthday on 26th of whatever month there is. Even my best friend has her birthday on 26th of whatever month there is. So I think my lucky number is just 26, you know? It's my whole family's lucky number. I would say to get them and yourself to read the form, you know, like binding form, legal form. Now it's okay, it's been fixed. It's just that, like, at the time, like, I don't know much about law as well, so I was just like telling them, look, I'm sure this is illegal one way or another, and if that's the case, then you fix that for me, I don't care. Like, you think I'm just gonna say yes to doing a diploma and, like, give you guys more money? No. You can't just tell me to do whatever I don't want to do because you guys messed up the offer. That's your problem to care, not mine, right? You're, what? Like, the person talking to me, she's like 40. You're 40 and you're talking to a 17 to try to, like, as if she would pay double the price for you because of a mistake your department, who's probably all of, like, 40-year-old people messed up. And you're trying to have a 17-year-old fix this for you. Like, that's kind of absurd. I haven't even started college yet at the time. Like, I'm like, what the hell? I would say to get, like, the different sizes, learning procedures, etc. I getcha, yeah. Born on the middle of the year, all the fun? Yeah, that's good. Like, so I'm not sure what the commencing date of, like, school is for your countries, but back in Hong Kong, the date for, like, high school, college, and primary school commencement date is always 1st of September. So it really sucks for people whose birthday is on 1st of September. Imagine just starting school on your birthday. Even though I'd argue that, like, the first day of school isn't that bad in high school because usually you just kind of, like, introduce yourself with your class. So I actually kind of look forward to, like, the first day of class usually in high school because I thought, like, hey, that was kind of fun. You just introduce yourself with others, you know? And then it sucks from there on. High school absolutely sucks. Like, I hate high school. I really don't like it. Your birthday gift is school books. That would suck so much. Also, pardon if this sounds like promoting-ish, would you and viewers perhaps be willing to help me with your anime and stuff, perhaps in the future if for drawings and stuff if y'all want? Personally, I'm not sure about my viewers, but for me, I wouldn't, like, help out others with art because of 2 reasons. First of all, like, copyright issues, like who the ownership it goes back to, and also what happens if there's, like, controversy in the, like, final work, like who's gonna be responsible for that, or is it like a legal document that helps me identify that I'm only, like, person who is responsible for the art process and I'm, like, and I'm not responsible for any allegations or controversy that that episode might cause. The second of all is because like I don't do work for free. Charge them at maybe a little bit of a hefty price because like I still enjoy doing what I want to, which is why I actually do commissions at a pretty high price. And also because like I also like the only situation where I do a free art for someone is DTIYs, and I hosted one before, albeit I haven't like done the prizes yet, and I've told my like winners that hey, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of working on a lot of commissions and like the present artwork, so it will like be a little later, but they know about it. Yeah. Books, no, it'll be like half and half. Also, I will be responsible for most things. You'll be present for all things, mediating all things. The thing is, like, the thing is, right? If you really genuinely want to form a team and start an animation, unless you're like really good friends with them, I wouldn't recommend to. Unless, like, okay. If you and your team are friends, then sure. But then if you and your teams are not very like familiar with each other, you have to write up a legal document, a contract, state all of the things in compliance with the law. Because like what happens if something happens, right? Even if you say today that you're gonna be responsible for everything, that doesn't guarantee that you're gonna be responsible for it in the future. And I say this because like whatever you say on the internet doesn't reflect how it is in real life. And when you assemble a team to work on a project, that also involves like in real life stuff, which is why that like I don't just say yes to helping people with their works, because I can't do that unless you're just trying to like give me a piece of artwork and I like correct it if you want to, right? That's the only like situation I would do it to. Yeah, gotcha, I gotta do that first. Man, there's a lot of stuff I gotta do. I don't know much about law. The only thing I know is that my father's a law teacher. So that's a little bit, I guess. But I don't know much about law. But I'm pretty sure that is what you generally have to do before like assembling a team. Unless you're friends, then I'm pretty sure if you're friends, then maybe it will work out. Who knows, right? Matt, hello! Welcome to the stream. Good morning, how are you doing? How are you? You doing great? Also, for now, piece about works, I have to add that I have that need to be corrected. If you want, I might host a stream later on and have you submit your artworks, and I might give my personal opinion on it or correct it in another day. But of course, that's with consent, because I know the previous person who corrected someone else's artwork without permission kind of got cancelled. So I'm a little scared about that as well. Let me see. What's the chat logs? I'm too nice to ask for money for your drawings. Here's the thing. It's not about like nice or not. It's just more so because like if it's your job or even your freelance, then you should charge money for it. If it's your hobby, then yeah, you don't have to charge money for that. Just saying that like in this context, because I'm doing it as my freelance or part-time apart from studying in college, of course I'm gonna charge money for it because it takes a lot of my time. Yeah, I'll do that promptly. Time to make the document, although it will be the draft though. Still gonna work on it. Yeah, you have to work on legal documents and get everything figured out before you assemble a team. Because it sounds to me that you're actually trying to work on a pretty big project, and if that's the case, you need to get the stuff together. Freelance and stuff, enjoyment and time, money. My plan is to never really okay, I said this a lot of time, but I'm still gonna say it regardless, in case people think I'm going to. I'm not going to drop out of college, because I'm aware that a lot of content creators and a lot of artists did drop out of college. But my opinion on college is that yeah, it sucks. So what? You need a degree now. Quite frankly, it really sucks. I agree, it wasted your fucking money unless you're going to start a business or something. That even sucks even more than just go start a business. Why bother doing college, right? But my opinion is that yeah, college sucks. They overcharge you, and the shit they offer is not even knowledge that you don't know. Most of the time they teach you stuff that you already know. But the thing is, can you get a job without a degree? When you're on the workplace, you're competing with someone else that has a degree. Both of you submit your portfolio, both of you submit your essaying, but the other person has a degree. Even if it were to be from like a not so prestigious university, the employer always would choose the person with the degree over you, unless you stand out a lot. And what I mean by you stand out a lot is that you're willing to do a job for a really low price, but you've got the skills to get a job even better, and that offers you more. But then the thing is, you can't get that job that offers you way more, because if you actually, like, even if your skills were to be really good, right? When you get into the employment market and you're competing with people who also has really good skills and also has a degree, you're not gonna stand a chance with them. Like, they're just gonna hire the person who has a degree, which is why, like, content creation is good. I would love to drop out of college, but like, would I? No, because like, even though I think college is useless for me right now, because like what they teach is like, I know it already, okay? Like if you're in a design course, you probably know a little bit about design already. So I kind of know about Photoshop and stuff like that. But am I gonna drop out of it? No, because like I want a job. And the baseline to especially Eastern society is that you need a degree. Like, yes, you don't like necessarily need it, but then do you really have the skills to compete with a person who's also hired like better than average but also has a degree? Maybe not, unless you're like actually really good, which I'm certainly not. Danny, one of my friends, got into trouble because of team when he tried making a manga. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can't just go like to anywhere and ask people if they like to join your team, because there's so much like associated with it. I'm not trying to discourage you though. I think it's a great idea to try to assemble a team. My life goal is to make a game, literally, like with my OC in it. But then is it possible? Not really, unless I know how to program a game. Pardon for not hearing, by the way. Also, college is college. It's about most of the money and the stuff you get to do and compete with people. True. Like, you don't learn much from college. Unless you're like a medical student, then maybe you learn a lot from college. But for most degrees, you pretty much don't learn from college. College is for your degree. You just want that one shiny script of paper. Like for now, what I'm doing is like getting to promote your anime in like dormant form. You know, once it's up and running, people can help or work. The thing is, what people really want to, if they don't get anything in return, and if like there's like no guarantee with like legal problems, right? Usually people who actually know how to make an anime or like are really good with it, if you want your anime to be high quality, they are going to charge a price, because people like that, they are professionals, they take commissions, they are freelancers, they are part-time or even full-time, so you're gonna be charged with a really hefty price. That's why. Oh, Hina, I can help you if you're done with college. So if your courses are legit game programming, you know what I'm about to do? Like, they didn't say you can't, right? I'm probably just gonna like get into game programming lectures when I have time. Like, you can't stop me from going into a lecture. They didn't say no to that. I just can't get a degree. That doesn't mean I can't join the lecture. I'm for real just about to like sneak in computer lectures and music lectures. Because like, hell, I paid for rent. I'm gonna make my college fee worth it. Hi guys, are we drawing something specific today? Yes, actually. We are drawing Mualani from Genshin, but in Chinese style, because I'm commissioned to do this. And this is actually a really cute piece of artwork, because my commissioner told me that their friend is having their birthday and they're Chinese and they really love Mualani. So that is so cute. Like, that's literally so cute. They'll get stuff in return, of course, although right now it's out of their kindness and such. In the future, you want them to work and like a part-time, full-time, whatever for them you want to base. Then you have to state what they get in return. Is it money? Is that like just exposure? Or do you have actually anything to offer? You have to write that out as well. I'm completely not trying to like discourage you. I hope you don't take it the wrong way. It's just that I think you have to do this before assembling a team. It's tailored to a variety of people, good workplace, etc., you know. So you're trying to start a business, right? I'm assuming like you're trying to start a work space. And that kind of works like a business because you're working as a team together and like publishing your works, which will earn you profit to give it back to your team, which is your employees. So instead of like think about this, you might have to go learn about like starting a business. But I'm not someone to like I'm not a person who knows how to start a business, even though I am running a business right now, I guess. No wonder she looked so familiar. Yes, sir. I feel like this is what she would wear if she was in Liyue for Lantern Ride. You know, this is actually more accurate Chinese outfit, and it suits perfectly for Liyue. It's so good. I feel like it would look good instead of like the blue outfits. I think my biggest confusion about Lantern Ride skins is that why is Shenhe in black? Okay, I know Hoyoverse is Chinese. I'm very well aware of it. Like, if anything, they're more Chinese than I am because they're from Shanghai and I'm from Hong Kong. I'm less of a Chinese than they are. I'm Cantonese, right? But I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not supposed, I don't think you should wear black for Chinese New Year. That's like not very respectful. But it looks good, it looks really good, so I'm buying it anyways. Mine is one of the apartments free use of equipment and items even after working. Other apartments is if they want to stay near the workplace, so they won't have to waste gas and stuff. However, up to them. And if I really need apartments for people. So you might have to look into renting multiple apartments as a tenant, or if you're gonna be the owner of the apartments. Because I'm assuming you're gonna be renting unless you've actually got the money to buy the apartments. Then you can think about it. Will the workers, like, will your employees and your team have to be responsible for any damage done in the apartment? Or are you going to fix them? Is that included? Like, stuff like that. Are bills included? Are Wi-Fi included? Stuff like that, right? I love the outfit. Asian traditional clothing, so pretty. I know, literally is. Like, I want to draw my outfit, like my OC in a Chinese outfit, but I'm reluctant against it because I don't know about that. Like, I don't want to be culturally inappropriate. But hey, I tried. Isn't black like the bad color in Chinese customs? Yes. Generally, don't wear black to Chinese New Year, and definitely don't wear white. That's for the dead. In Chinese culture, don't wear white because that's for the dead. Except in marriage, we've kind of got the shit together. And marriage is like an exception. But I still love wearing white because I feel like it suits me very well. So for the apartment and the damages and stuff like that is obviously going to be included. They can put whatever they want in it, like a college dorm, but better. Then I think you need to find before you assemble your team, you should actually find a person who can handle tenants agreements, person who are capable of helping you start a business, an accountant, and a legal advisor. A legal advisor is definitely more important than the ones I just mentioned. And I'm going to fix damages and stuff. What happens if they actually did really big damages? What happens then? I get what you mean, you want an inclusive environment, right? But stuff like that, I really encourage you. Look, I'm just 17. I don't know much about business and stuff like that, okay? But I'm pretty sure if you want to do something like this, you can't do it on your own. You have to find a legal advisor, an accountant, a business person, and also someone who can handle tenant agreements. I'm gonna make the apartments and currently learning for those people, legal advisors and such. Learning for those people? Like what? Like you're trying to be a legal advisor, no? Gotcha, madam. I don't trust the team and people I trust. If you know them well, then go ahead. But there's way too much that you need to think about it. I'm definitely not the person that is capable of starting a whole ass workspace. I can't do it. Business and computer. Well, if you're good at it yourself, then why not? Double major? Here's the thing. I get what you're saying, but then like as I previously mentioned in my stream, college doesn't offer you much. There's way too much you need to learn after college, unless you're doing a PhD. If you're doing a PhD, and I think you've got your shit together. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I said pardon for just spewing all of this, and yeah, no worries. But I'm also just giving my opinion. I think I've heard way too much about laws and stuff in my house. Because like in particular, my dad teaches business law. So I think I've heard a little way too much about all the shit that could happen, even if you're just like a small team. Every time I go on the internet, he would tell me to, hey, be careful about this, be careful about that, because this might lead to what? And I'm thankful that I have a dad like that. I probably wouldn't get into maybe like legal trouble in one day if I didn't have a dad backing, you know. And works that might be like, you know, offensive to your government or your country as well. If you're living in a country where they regulate medias, then you might also get into big trouble and like get your workshop and all the people in trouble as well. Like anything you say in the workshop, if you're saying that with your workshop account, it will represent all the people. And if you get in trouble, everyone gets in trouble, like legal big trouble. So that happens as well. I don't know about where you're from, but over here, dorm and apartment owners usually only fixed-minded. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying, why you need a person that knows about tenant stuff and someone who actually knows about business in a professional perspective and someone who is very experienced of it. Because on paper, like you have to list out every single thing that is like regarded as a minor damage and every major thing that is actually regarded as a major damage, and you're gonna punish them like accordingly, right? When it becomes extreme, then the person pays for the repairs. Yep, and it's written in the tenant agreements usually. They will pay for like a third of it, and I'll fix the rest. If they want, they can pay for it all with me fixing it, and not have people that they hire to fix said damages. Where do you live in? You live in US. But US, sir, a lot of stuff need the people you mentioned: tenant person, law person, legal advisor, and more. Yeah, so you probably need to hire them. I think it depends on the state as well, right? I've never been to the US, and quite frankly, I don't feel safe going to the US. You know, if I went to the US, I feel like I would be deported in like one day. I can never go to the US. US, like, is geographically and to me, it's kind of like the Wild West. I cannot go to the US, it's scary to me. I can't. US, my good Wild West. Man, you've got a lot on your plate now. Well, time to get work. Well, good luck on your workshop. I don't feel safe going there too. They hate your country. What country are you from? What happened, bro? What happened that US hated your country? Are you from like the Middle East? Don't worry, I think US doesn't like us either. Palestine, oh holy shit. Yeah, don't go to US. I don't think they're gonna like you, dude. I'm sorry for what happened. Like seriously, I'm sorry for what happened. Also, it's well sort of scary now. Protests, riots, shootings, etc. Protests and riots, that's least of my concerns. Shootings, that's more of my concern. Protests and riots happen everywhere. If protests and riots doesn't happen in your country is fucked. You're good. I honestly don't try to do stuff like that. Yeah, it's okay. They don't recognize that I'm Arab because I look very European. The thing about like Middle East is that people are like, they have like mixed ethnicity like or lineage from there. I've heard people say that like on internet they say like, wait, you're Indian but you don't look like Indian. Okay, yes sir, because like I'm pretty sure Northeast Indians look like white, I think. But I'm not saying this as if I'm racist or not. I'm not. Please do not ban me. It's just a truth that like a lot of people don't realize that even in a country or like in a region, they have like varying descents and ethnicities. Minashons, hello! Hello, welcome to the stream. Like even in Australia, right, the ethnicities are very diverse. New to YouTube? Hello! Well, enjoy your time in YouTube. Hopefully this would be a great place for you then. However, if you're under the age of 14, please do not, like 14 or 15, do not watch my streams because I swear a lot. My country was occupied by Europeans from since Jesus was alive. I think so, right? But I don't know much about it, and I don't talk anything about politics on my streams. Unless it's US politics, because it's not like I would ever like go to US. US politics is a lot more like unnuanced. Like you can talk about it all you want, but I won't talk about major wars and like stuff like that. So you might have some European ancestors. I think a lot of people in Hong Kong also has like European ancestors because of like colonization. A lot of people from Hong Kong had like ancestors from Britain because it was a British colony. It's my first time being talked to live. Well, welcome. Enjoy your time here. Don't consider this political since it's history. Yeah, history stuff is fine. I don't mind history stuff. Just that I don't talk about like war and like modern politics because like there's way too much to get into it and I don't want to get in trouble, quite frankly. You're 15 and you're new to YouTube. What happened? Like no, not in a disrespectful manner. It's just that like have you never used YouTube before you were 15? I need to know the context about it. If it's because like your parents taught you that maybe the internet isn't the best place to be on, they're right. And good for you for not using YouTube until you're 15. Makes sense? Yeah. Thank you for understanding this. I see a lot of people on internet and then people just have them talk about politics and talk for people that are involved for it. But like the truth is we're not from those places and we can't talk about it that much. We don't know. We don't really understand what's behind it, right? You live in strict home? Oh no, I'm sorry for that. My parents used to be really strict as well. But it got really bad, so they just kind of let me do whatever now. Challenge the things that people say, like believing false truths and information, you know? My show will make the people that see it open their eyes and stuff. It will have themes that are a little bit interesting. I hope it works out. Because, I really hope it works out. Just that I'm a little concerned about your team's safety. Because I know politics nowadays, like if you... Okay, apparently, I don't know if it's true or not. I came from Asia, East Asia, so you know how it is over there, but, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently, you would get in jail or, like, get in trouble for saying shit about Trump. So, I hope your team will be safe, but I highly encourage making a difference. It means a lot to the society. Like, everyone needs to wake up and know what the fuck's happening, right? My parents used to be really strict, but now they're lenient on you because you turned 18. My parents became lenient on me when I was mid-15 to 16. Alright, you just turned 18. Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Beast. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, Indian? Oh, welcome. I've met a couple of you Indians. They're really nice. Politics is a whole web, a bigger web. It is. It's so nuanced, like, holy shit. Same bees? Well, happy birthday to you too, Danny. You're so cute. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. I'm really glad. Everyone, happy birthday, huh? We've got a lot of birthday people in today. And happy 18th birthday, that means a lot. You've got nice vocals. I don't sing. Okay, one thing about music and me is that I play instruments a lot. I play a piano a lot. I play the clarinet in a City Wind Orchestra. Now, so like, I don't sing. It just so happens that I can get the pitch right. But that's more so because I have a perfect pitch. It has nothing to do with my singing. I'm horrible at singing, in fact. Piano? Yeah, I play piano. I learned it as a kid, and then now I've been trying to like work on it myself because unfortunately, very unfortunately, wait, let me pull up my references. I need some references. This artist is Matcha CH, by the way, on Twitter. They're goated. They're goated. I love their artwork. They're my favorite artists of all time. Let me just reference how they draw the face. I need a little bit of help. See, kids, it's okay to reference. This is good. Let's reference this. I'm currently working on Clair de Lune. I learned it as a kid, and then I've been like learning by myself ever since. When I picked up again because of pandemic. I'm pretty sure like when I was in year 5, which was like 9 years old, I think I still learned piano. I got like a grade 5. It's actually not, no, it's not year 5. It was year 3. So I learned the piano, and then like I went to ABRSM and then like got the grade 5, whatever, and then I stopped learning because of academics. Right? But then I picked it up later in pandemic because there was nothing else better to do, and I just started to play Rachmaninoff, Chopin, and like Debussy. Oh, Debussy. And it's really fun. I love the piano. A lot of people that play piano aside from me, I used to play, but I want to learn again since you gotta make your first song for anime now to see if the intro you got in your head will work well with it. Danny, I think someone in my Discord might be interested in helping you with this. So you can get into my Discord server, find someone called what's their name now? Let me see. Let me check. Okay. Find someone called Topper. So tag them and ask them if they want to help you. They're very good with creating digital music, and their style fits anime a lot. They're really good at it. I'm seriously, like, they're really good at it. Topper with 2 P's, yes. Find them and ask them if they could give you some advices or help you. I think they might, you know. But of course, like, don't force them into helping. You can also listen to their music in like the art discussion, like the art critiques page. They probably tag a lot of like their music in there. Topper, yes, that's it. You can tag them. Their name should show up as in like a Chinese character, even though it's Japanese. I think they have like a nickname called Asa right now, but just tag them. They will be happy to respond. Don't tag everyone though. Please do not tag everyone. Last time someone tagged everyone, it was really bad. Shameless plug. Join my Discord. It's not the most chill server, but it's very civilized. So Topper, yes. It's not if they decline. I think they would help. Personally, from how I know them, I think they would help. Now what's missing? Oh god, finally, I have to face this. I finally got to need to, like, you know, outline the artwork. Oh god damn it, I don't want to do that. I love to do digital drawings, but I don't think you can reach this level. You've been drawing for 10 years. You started drawing when you turned 5. I started drawing scribbles, like, you know, kit stuff when I was 2. And my mom gave me like a crappy watercolor brush. And I've been drawing ever since. I think art is the one thing I've never given up on. I've given up on music for quite a long time, and I've never given up on art. I think, as far as I'm concerned. But I've been drawing ever since and just trying to like hone my abilities, you know. How the fuck did they do, like, how the fuck did they draw this good? Come on, dude. Don't be like me, it's all good. It's okay. Hi Scarlett? Yeah, say hi to each other. incredible to me that there's like 8 viewers on my stream right now. Like, what the fuck? Wow. Someone's watching me draw. What the hell? That's crazy, you know? It's just that I wish that I had another monitor so I can read my chat more easily. Like, I have 2 monitors and like it's on my other screen right now, but I have to look up on my chat. I wish I had another screen on like the right of my drawing display so I can like watch my chat and respond to them, you know? Do they sell like cheap displays on like Temu or something? Drawing gives you peace because you have elder brothers. Oh, you know, I'm an only kid in the family, in the whole family tree, in fact. And I wish that I had an elder sister. I really wish I had an elder sister, and I wish I had an a younger sister. It's so lonely to be alone. Like, yeah, you fight each other, but it's so lonely if you're really alone. Like, there's not much to do when you're alone. Oh, Loki, I kind of wish I had a twin, you know? One of, like, 2 of my best friends, they're a twin. And they're really funny. They don't hate each other. They actually get, well, like, they are in pretty good terms. Like, they're just, like, friends, you know? And I love that relationship. I wish I had that relationship. I have a baby brother and a big sister. They're both very lovely and not annoy you sometimes. I feel like maybe a baby brother would be annoying. Probably. But they're great. It's really lonely to be an only child, really. Like, it's really lonely. There's no one else except you, and then like everyone puts all their expectations on you. But there's also like a lot of upsides to being an only child, that like your parents only pour all their love to you, and like they don't, you know, value the other sibling more than you. That's the good sides. Does this look better? It does! Yes, sir. Yes, it does. Yes. I'm just trying to fix the rendering. Like, this should serve as a pretty good practice for me because I've been off for like more precise rendering for so long. You spoil him? No, you probably shouldn't. Probably shouldn't spoil a kid. They need the discipline. Probably. The younger sister, yeah. It's so lonely to be an only kid, especially now that I'm overseas. Like, it sucks, it's so lonely. That's why I stream anyways, like, because it's lonely. And I feel like streaming is fun, you know? Let me switch my headphones real quick. My brothers are chaotic, but sometimes the 3 of us play pillow fights together. That's nice, that's very nice. You spoil him in a good way, you get him what he needs, not what he wants. Yeah, that's good, that's good. True, brothers can be annoying. I feel like brothers are generally, okay, not all, are more annoying than sisters for some reason. I don't know why that is. Like, I'm not sexist, please do not get that wrong. It's just that as kids, younger brothers are generally a little more annoying than younger sisters, from what I can tell, based on my friends. Your siblings can't do anything together? Like, they're on bad terms or what? They just end up arguing? Yeah. Try being the oldest? Not that I can be a youngest though, you know. The only possible solution I can have is to be the oldest. I can't have a youngest now. Now that I'm born, I guess. Consider us your viewers, your siblings? Well, I consider you guys as viewers and like fans, and so that's great. I can't consider Yao anything more than that. That would be parasocial. And I don't encourage that. You're the middle child, so do you get into like, you know, the middle child problems, like, you know, getting ignored, blah 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 blah, just the middle child problems, getting that shit? Do you often get forgotten by your parents because you're the middle child? And there's a pretty good reason why I'm like streaming a lot now, because I want to like open monetization on my YouTube, and if so, like I need to get the viewers, like I need to get enough views for that, and I need to make more videos for that, but I'm currently working on. You know what, today actually we are going to review Genshin characters, and I'm not even joking, we are reviewing Genshin characters. And you know what, let's start right now. Let's do it. You guys want to do it? Let's review Genshin character designs. Do you guys want to do it? And if y'all want to do it, we can do it like right here, right now. I'm planning to do this video in anyways, right? You guys want to do it? Let's hear if you guys want to do it. Okay, yes. I'll tell people I'm reviewing Genshin characters now. We're doing the Genshin character reviews. So join if you want to get a say in that. Okay, so everyone, anyways, okay, let's put that back to something else, right? Let's put that in something else. Why not? So, everyone, say hi to YouTube, because we are going to review Genshin character designs today. So, as you guys know, I draw a lot, like a lot. I almost draw every day, in fact. I only not draw when I'm on vacation, when I'm on holiday, or if I'm away from my laptop. Otherwise, I draw every day. So, I'm a bit of a nerdy artist, and I draw a lot of Hoyo stuff. You know, Hoyo stuff. I draw a lot of them, like I draw a lot, right? So, you know what's better to do other than just drawing? Why not review character designs? So, YouTube, we're going to review Genshin character designs today. Yep. Alrighty, now that everyone's saying hi to YouTube, let's introduce ourselves together. Again, sorry, I need to do that again, I'm a perfectionist. Well, hello YouTube, I'm Hina, and I draw a lot, like a lot, like a lot, and I draw almost every day. If not because my laptop snatched away from me, maybe I'm on vacation or on holiday. Regardless, I draw a lot. And I actually draw a lot of Hoyo. I've drawn Saridra, I've drawn Aglaya, and I've drawn a couple of few Genshin characters. And you know what's better than to only draw Genshin characters? Why not today we're going to review Genshin character designs. So, you know, there's a lot of controversy around Genshin character designs. So, let's let our chat decide it and, you know, me decide that. So, we have a list here. We're not going to, like, review every single character in one video, because that makes our video way too long. So, instead, I've got a list of characters that I'm going to review. So, we are going to review these characters. So from Mondstadt, we've got Lumine, Mona, Kaya, and these are the rest of the characters. You see there's a lot, and Natlan's got quite a few because there's, you know, obviously a lot of things to talk about Natlan characters. So now, about Natlan and like the rest of the regions as well, I can only review the characters based on like my opinion, my artistic opinion on it, and what I think about maybe their aesthetic or what they make me feel. Do they represent what they are well? But for culture parts, like maybe Sumeru is based on India, I can't talk much about it because I'm not from those cultures. The only thing I can talk about culture is Liyue, because I'm from well, Hong Kong. So I can talk a little bit about Li Yue, but not for the other regions. So today we're gonna review Genshin character designs. So, let's see. Let's start from Mondstadt. Where's the Luke? We might do characters in another video. So, starting off with Lumine, our favorite protagonist. Let's grab her photo on here. Let's see. Lumine. Okay, starting off strong. Let's get her picture on here. Let's fix the canvas size a little bit, just because, you know. Let's get that a little bit here. Okay, so we are starting off strong with Lumine, our favorite female MC. And today we're not gonna like review their 3D models because obviously there's a lot of characters whose 3D models are pretty outdated, like Diluc, Albedo, and I feel like it wouldn't do them any justice. So let's just go on our review based on the 2D character designs. So, Lumine. I think Lumine is actually really well designed. So she has bright colors, she has like a white dress over here. She's got like these golden accents all over her skirt, and there's like some stars in here. And I think, in my opinion, that says a lot about her being like the otherworldly traveler, and that really represents her. Like, in Genshin, there's like not much designs apart from Lumine that has this aesthetic, like white dress, a little bit of blue accent, and gold decorations. And these patterns, like stars and a lot of more stars, actually says a lot about her. She feels very otherworldly, and in my very honest opinion, I believe that Lumine's character design is really good. Like, I believe Lumine's character design is on point. It's really, really good. And I think her blonde hair actually suits her, you know, aesthetic really well. Because like there's a little bit of gold and blue in here, and like personally I think yellow and blue goes really hard. Like, it's amazing, and her hair actually complements this really well. In fact, like there's a lot of game NCs, let's take like HSR, Wuwa. They have protagonists which has like gray, black hair, which kind of like, even though the designs aren't like bad, like is in no way bad, it's really good as well. But then I feel like a less saturated color actually doesn't make them stand out a lot. But in Genshin, we have someone who has blonde hair, who has like blue clothes, white skirts, and a lot of star accents in here, which makes her feel very otherworldly and stand out a lot from the rest of the characters. And I think it's really, really well done. So I'd say that Lumine's character design is actually near perfect. I love it. And she has boots in here, which maybe it makes it a little harder to fight, because, you know, if you have boots like this that goes over like the knees, I feel like maybe it's a little restrictive when you fight. But regardless, I think it complements the whole design very, very well. So I'd say Lumine's design is well done. Next up, we got Mona. Yep, let's search up on Mona. Mona Genshin. Dum dum dum. Graido. So next up we've got Mona. And there's a reason why I chose Mona instead of other Mondstadt characters. And the reason is because I think that Mona's design is pretty good. In the sense that I believe that she screams witchy theme, like a little witch here, and it really represents her a lot. Like, of course, there's like a hat on her, so what else would you expect, right? But then other than just the hat, she also represents astrology. So it would be a little bit of a challenge for me to include all the elements of like a witch and an astrologist in the design and have them both not outpower each other. So what I mean is that, like, so we've got like a witch hat for Mona, like the witch hat's here, But we've also got like a little bit of like astrology details, like a star here, a star earring, a star collar, and a lot of stars. Even in her hair, like stars, starry, stars, stars, and a lot of more star. Even in her like twin tails. And I actually love her twin tail designs a lot. I feel like this is very refreshing to see, like the end of the twin tails being bound to kind of like a starry accessory. I thought it looks really, really cool. So her design, I think that like they incorporated the astrology theme into her witch overall theme very well. Like there's a lot of stars, there's a lot of gold, there's a lot of accessories that have stars in her design. And that honestly really, really like complements her well and represents her as a character. If you look at her, you would think, oh, witch. But if you look at her for the second time, you would think, oh, a lot of stars. Maybe she's related to astrology. Maybe she's a little bit of a observer, right? So her design is very powerful. It's simple, yes, but there's a lot of like details that also complements her astrology setting. Her design is very, very powerful. And I think not enough people talk about Mona's design because it's really good. Not enough people talk about her, definitely. Agreed? Yes, sir. I think so too. Of course, right? Anyways, the next character we're gonna talk about is Kaya. Let's get Kaya's splash art on here. I mean, his character introduction art. Next up, we've got everybody's favorite, Kaya. So Kaya's a character that I honestly feel like it's better than like some new character designs, in fact. His character design is very well done. First of all, like this pose, even though it's more of like an art thing instead of like design, it gives him a strong energy and gives him a little bit of like a flirtatious personality, which kind of is like represented in like story and also in the fandom. It kind of gives him a little bit of like a flirtatious personality. And his design is pretty well done, I'd say. It feels coherent. It feels very, very coherent. And I think the thing that made his design very good is actually this fur coat out of like in here. Personally, I think without this fur coat, his design might look a little more average. That's because like this fur coat gave him so much like volume. It gave him so much more volume, like genuinely. It outlines his character very, very well. It gives him a like more apparent silhouette. Gives him a lot more like a different and a special design. If he didn't have the fur coat, he might look, you know, blend in a lot more with other characters in the sea of like characters of Genshin Impact. But the fact that he got like a very significant and big fur coat, like furry thing, it made him stand out and gives him more volume when we talk about like the character design. Because overall, his design is like very slim. It's very like rectangular, it's very slim. The details are mostly in the clothes, so you can't actually see a lot of it by his silhouette. But then by adding this fur coat over here, it made it so that you can still identify that he's standing out from the rest of the NPCs, from the rest of the characters, because of this one really, really well done touch, in my opinion. And actually, it's pretty well done, I think. Like, the other thing about the fur coat is that, correct me if I'm wrong, fur coats are mostly like reserved for like royalties, because only rich people get to afford fur, right? But Kaya, as the royalty of Khaenri'ah, allegedly, has a fur coat, and he's also like the cavalry captain of Mondstadt. So he's kind of on like a higher standing in the hierarchy of Mondstadt. So adding this fur coat really adds to his value and shows that he's kind of like a little bit up there, not just a random NPC, not just a random Mondstadt citizen. It really complements him well. And I also really like this detail over here, like the chest chain. It's really nice. It's like small detail, but it's really nice. And I absolutely love his earring and his hair design. Like, I get a lot of the debate saying that apparently Genshin has way too much male characters with pigtails, but I really like it. Like, it's just my opinion though. I really like the male pigtails. I think it looks really good. It looks well. And his eye patch is something, I'd say. It's more so represented in his character story, but when you look at his overall design, because of the eye patch, you'd think a little bit something like a pirate, which kind of isn't wrong because he kind of has this introduction in his character story, right? But overall, I think Kaya's design is if you want me to compare it with Mona's, I personally preferred Mona over Kaya's design because Mona's design is very like visually strong. It tells you everything you need to know about Mona, whereas Kaya's is more subtle. Like, it doesn't write all over his character, but the fur coat and like some of these golden accessories is enough to tell you about that he's a little bit up there in the monster hierarchy. Maybe he's a pirate. Who knows? And maybe he's a royalty, as represented about the fact that he's a prince from Khaenri'ah. So that's very interesting. I personally think that Kaya's design is really good, but there's better designs out there, and I see a lot of people that are die-hard fans of Kaya's design. And for me, I wouldn't say that I absolutely love his design, but I think it's really good regardless. Like, it's really, really well done. So moving on to Liyue. We are moving on to Liyue after Mondstadt, which technically Lumi isn't from Mondstadt, but I just put her there. So in Liyue, we've got Ningguang, Qiqi, and Zhongli. So let's look at Ningguang, should we? Let's look at Ningguang, shall we? The one and only richest person in the whole Teyvat. We've got Ningguang over here. So this is Liyue, or should I say Liyue, and should I say Ningguang? So about Ningguang, I think her design is extremely well done. It's almost as good as Mona's design, or I think her design actually is better than Mona's actually. So there's a few things to talk about her design. So first of all, she's got this hairpin over here, which really adds to the value that she's from Liyue, which is based on China. They've got kind of like this hairstyle and this hairpin in ancient China as well, which looks absolutely great. Another thing about her is that she's got like these like kind of figure like a little bit of a scratchy finger accessory over here. I'm not sure what they call it in English, but I see a lot of people say like alleged that she's lesbian because of this, and I have to say it's not because of this, and I believe that adding this added so much more value to her design. Here's why. This one thing over here is a represents that you are rich in ancient China, especially like in ancient China, girls, they have to do housework, like they stay inside the house whereas their husbands go out to work. When they come home, they expect the female to be like done with every housework, and they do all the job themselves. So this has a lot of significance because this symbolizes that this female didn't have to work for anything. Like they have persons, like they have people working for them. So adding this one detail here says a lot about Ningguang based on ancient China, because this means Ningguang is very rich. She doesn't have to do any of her like housework by herself. She doesn't have to do like any of the stuff by herself, in fact, because of this finger thingy, which I'm not sure what it's called in English. So this is actually very powerful. It's not just like because of people on Twitter saying, oh, she's lesbian, blah, blah, blah. It's not. It's really because that she's rich, and that's why she had this accessory on her. other than her finger, she's got a lot of like golden accents in here. Like a lot of golden details in here. A lot of gold in here, a lot of gold in there. Which is very important as well, because in ancient China, only the emperor gets to wear gold. And her design having a lot of like yellow, goldish things kind of also more so emphasizes on how she's on top of like the Liyue hierarchy and how she's like very valued in there. She's very, very rich. She's also noble. She's also a respectable person, and it's all reflected in her color scheme. Like it says a lot about her, right? The gold colors and like how she has a lot of accessories. It says a lot about her. Like she's on top of the hierarchy. She's noble. She's highly valued. The gold colors says a lot. Like it really, like even if we were to talk about it in modern society, gold color represents like royalty. It represents riches, which is why the color scheme of yellow on her really works well. Like it really represents her a lot. And in fact, I actually really like her outfit design. It's a little bit like inspired by qipao in China, and it actually works really well. Now I know it isn't like the most culturally appropriate outfit, because like the real deal of qipao is that it should cover like the legs as well, but it's a video game, and regardless, I think it looks really good. It looks really good. These kind of like drippings down here, the fabrics dripping down here, flowing down here, it reflects her really well. It gives her a very good visual flow combined with her long hair. Looks really well. And I think the brown accents on her, like the secondary brown color, is also really well added, because she's got a lot of white going on and yellow going on. So she has white hair, golden accents, yellow clothes. So the brown sticks to her overall color scheme, because well, brown is essentially like a little bit of a orange yellowish but darkened, which fits her hue, because like they didn't just put like a completely different hued color into her outfit, but still made it coherent. Like even though it's like a sort of a different color, it stands coherent to her design because it's kind of on the same hue in the color wheel. So it complements her design very, very well, but also gives her that accent that it needed. Because if everything was in white and yellow, there would be nothing in her design that stands out significantly. But now that they added brown, like a little bit over everywhere, it makes her stand out a lot more and makes her a lot more defined and identifiable. So overall, I'd say Ningguang's design is a 10 out of 10 for me. Like it's one of the best in Genshin. It's a 10 out of 10, 100% 10 out of 10 for me. Love it, absolutely love it. So, okay, who's the next character? Is Qiqi. Let's see. Hi everyone who just joined the stream. Today we're reviewing Genshin character designs. Minashins, we are reviewing Genshin character designs. You can also get a say in here. Welcome to the stream. So, let's see, Qiqi. So, Qiqi is a bit of an interesting one, because Qiqi is a zombie, and is very well reflected in her character design. Because if you look at it, she is anything, like she's everything about a Chinese zombie. She's got this like, what, I'm not sure what this is called in English, like she's got a sigil on her head, which is commonly what is represented in like Chinese zombies in like movies and like methodologies. And she's got a little bit of a hat here, which is actually pretty interesting. She's got like a braid like behind her, which you can't actually see. It kind of reminds me of the Qing dynasty in Chinese history. I'm not sure if this is what they're trying to interpret, because she's also got a little like a drip over here, which actually is also like very apparent in Qing dynasty, like in their clothing. So I'm not very sure if this is what they're trying to interpret with the hat and like the braid over her, but it is something that tells you about like her Chinese lineage, and also this sigil over here. this is very interesting. I love this accessory. It's also often like represented in like Chinese zombies, but I believe it might have something to do with Buddhism. But I'm not like a huge like Buddhism religious person, so I don't know much and I can't say on behalf of it. But just that I think it's really good. Like when the design is kind of like just a floaty dress with like details inside, this one single necklace gives it more like volume. It pops out in her character more. It gives her more sway motion when she walks in like game animation, and it gives her like a visual focus, so you can kind of look at this necklace, and also at the same time when you look at this necklace you look at the rest of her design. So it's a really good visual guidance and it's a really good visual attraction, I'd say. Aside from that, let's see, this is a Chinese style knot, very apparent, like very commonly found in clothes, very commonly found in qipaos and hanfu's. This is really well. So I think this as well. This is a golden coin, which is representative of like Chinese history's gold coins. It looks like that, a little bit like that, I'd say. So overall, her design, I think, is a pretty powerful design. I like it. Generally, I think it's pretty good because I feel like she would have been less powerful. Like without the sigil, I feel like her design would be much weaker. In fact, much weaker. But then with the sigil, she feels more like a Chinese zombie, which is her in lore, right? So with this sigil, it levels up her design a lot more. Okay, next one's Zhongli. Zhongli's an interesting one. Let's see, Zhongli. Okay, now. On to the one and only Rex Lapis Zhongli, or Zhongli. On to the one and only Rex Lapis, Dragon of the Liyue, and Archon of Liyue, Zhongli. So, his design has a lot of dragon elements on it, which is both reflective on his status of Rex Lapis, and both very important. Like the other side is that it's very important to Chinese culture because dragon represents prosperity and it's like a good thing in Chinese culture. So, the dragon theme about him is very like is very in line with Chinese culture, and him being like the god of Liyue. All the dragon accents on him is very nice. I actually like the mix of like silver and gold in here. It's not often that you would be able to mix silver and gold in an outfit and still make it look coherent. It's not very common, let's just say. But I think Hoyo did really well with like mixing silvers and golden pieces. So it gives it a little bit more variety other than just like yellow and gold and brown. I think his front view didn't actually do him justice. So let's look at his back view if we had any. Let's see. Zhongli back view. Okay, I've got a picture over here. Let's see it. So, let's see. Copy image, let's paste it on here. Okay. Here's his back view, because I genuinely think his front view didn't do his design justice. So, in his back view, this is what I call a really good design. You've got like some dragon pieces in here, like scales in here. That is well representative of dragon. And apparently in game you can actually see these parts like reflect in real time if you have like good graphics. It would actually reflect in like gold color. So I think that is a really good detail as well. But this says a lot about his dragon status. Like he's a dragon and of course he has dragon scales. That's also reflective on here. You can also see in here. It's very, very subtle, and I wish it would have been added in the front as well. Like, I wish they might have added like some dragon scales in here as well. But regardless of that, I think adding in the scales is one of the best decisions they could have done to represent his dragon status. And the patterns in here are also very interesting. Like, it's very good detail. They are very significant, and they happen, like, they're very common in Chinese furnishings, in Chinese walls, windows. These are very common patterns, so I think it's a very good touch. Oops. And he's actually got a lot of squares in his design, like the accessories, square stuff in here, square earrings, square gloves, like glove accessories, squares in here, squares in here. I think this is a pretty good touch because of how Liyue visions act. So Liyue is like the nation where visions are in a square shape. So it actually reveals like he's the Archon with like subtle details as well. Even though it's just like little accessories, buttons, whatever, it's still kind of like is in compliance with like this square, the vision. And it's a really good effect that he generally just doesn't have like a lot other shapes except squares in his outfit, which strengthens his significance to Liyue and the correlation of like the vision and him. So overall, I'd say Zhongli's design is very well done. I'm actually not the biggest fan of Zhongli. I don't really like him in lore, and I think his hairstyle might look better without like these very big two like hoges. Is that how you pronounce it? I think it could be much smaller. Like if you do it like this, it would be better. I feel like these two hair pieces sticking out kind of made him feel a little more unserious, which kind of doesn't reflect in gameplay and like lore, because he is definitely a very, very, very serious person. So I'd say the change I would make to this design is actually these two hair pieces being like a little bit smaller than original. But other than that, I really like the design. I think it's good. It's not my favorite, definitely not my favorite, because we have got more stacked rosters after like Sumeru, which is, well, Fontaine. But his design is really good regardless. I like it. But is it as good as people saying like this is the single best design in Genshin? I'd have to disagree with that. I see a lot of people saying Zhongli's design is like the single best one in the whole Genshin roster, and I don't agree with it. I believe it's not the best. It's like, it's up there, but definitely not the best for me. There's a lot that I think can be like tweaked. There's a lot that could be changed, but overall I think it's pretty good. I wish they would have made like the dragon symbol more significant though. Like imagine if the dragon was to be on like his whole bag, like just a dragon over here. It would be really nice. It would be a really nice touch. It would be great. So that's about Zhongli. Moving on to Inazuma, and I've picked one of my favorite designs in the whole game, in fact. Just one of the. It's not my favorite, but one of the. And of course the Archon and the Priestess Kokomi, because she's pretty relevant in lore and a lot of people love her design. People are stands for her design, and I can see why. So let's move on to let's move on to Inazuma right now. Hello Sky Goat, thank you. Welcome to the stream. Today we're doing a little bit different. We're gonna review Genshin characters today. So let's search up Yoimiya. Let's start with the girl of festivities, Yoimiya. What do you guys think about it? Like, do you guys think it's good? Because like I for sure think this is like Ningguang level good. This is Ningguang level good. It says everything you need to know about this character. It says everything about her. Yoimiya, her design is very good. I love it. My opinions on Genshin designs might trigger it, it's all good. But I think her design is really good. The triggering part is probably not done. Before that, Yoimiya's design. So, her design is very, very strong. Like how I talked about the silhouette of Kaeya and Mona. She has a very significant silhouette with her huge butterfly string over here, like the huge accessory over here. It gives her a lot of character volume. It makes her stand out a lot, actually. It's really, really good. I love this touch on her. Absolutely adorable and absolutely the best move they've done on her. But other than that, she's representative of like the summer festivities of Japan, and I think it actually reflects it pretty well. She screams Natsuma to be. Her hairpins, like, and then her like earrings also stands out a lot, like because her design scheme is pretty orange-ish. So the hairpin being like a little bit of a pastel purple actually kind of stands out, but still is coherent with it because it's pastel and it like aligns well with her hair. So I think it's a pretty good touch. It adds a lot more variety to her character, and her designs are very, very vibrant. She has a huge earpiece here, like she has a huge earring here. It makes it stand out. It gives her that asymmetric, see, like she's not symmetry. She's very asymmetrical, and her accessory helps a lot with that. Her earring being so huge and being like so like detailed with a lot of colors, it gives her volume. It gives her asymmetric, like it makes her asymmetric. It's very nice, I think. She's got a little bit of tattoo here, which I think is a very nice touch because like she has a lot of like her skin exposure is very large. So it's, as you can see, there's a lot of like skin exposure, and I think adding this tattoo, like I don't know about maybe the cultural reasons about that, but I think adding this tattoo over here is a pretty good detail because like it makes her skin exposure feel less like, it makes her feel less boring. If I were to just cover up her skin like this, it feels less interesting. There's not much to look at, right? But if you added that tattoo, there's like a very interesting pattern here. It gives you a lot more to look at. It's a very, very good visual attention as well. Like people would tend to look at like her exposed skin part because of this tattoo. It's a pretty good visual guidance. I like it a lot. And her patterns are very detailed as well. We've got like the flowers in here and everything. We've got more firework in here, like it's firework style flower patterns, which is reflective about her character because she's like someone who makes fireworks. So it is very loud about her character, like in the sense that it says a lot, even with the small details, just like how I mentioned that the stars on Mona's hat is very nice. I believe so. I really like her design. It's one of my personal favorites. It's one of my personal favorites alongside Furina and Navia. It's one of my favorite favorites designs in the whole of Genshin Impact. I think Genshin designs in general are too crowded. Like I can point out a little bit of stuff that is just pure eye candy, but it's fine since it goes in line with the design language. I think Genshin characters' designs might be overcrowded, but it's a game, and I think that like when it comes to game designs, you would generally like to like stuff as much things you can into a character to make them stand out. Or else your character is just gonna look like a copy of like another character from another franchise, which is why I think like I get the thing about like Genshin characters being a little bit overcrowded in design, but I actually personally I think it's a good thing because it makes them stand out. They don't just look like XP, or they don't just look similar to another character in another franchise. It makes them look very interesting. It says about their character, but it's also because like personally I love detailed artwork. I really think like I'm not a huge fan of minimalism. I'm definitely not a huge fan of minimalism. I love detailed artworks. So Genshin character designs, I really like it because, well, they're detailed. Even maybe a little bit overcrowded, if you'd say so. I kind of get like where you're coming from. I don't necessarily agree with this take, but I know where you're coming from, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with you. More of a ZZZ guy, I prefer Genshin's design a lot more over ZZZ. 100%. 100% in my opinion better. Okay, Raiden Shogun. Let's see. Let's see. The Archon of Inazuma, Raiden Shogun, and also the Archon of the first very explicit, I guess, friends. Like, she's the Archon of Inazuma, but she's also the Archon of some people would say fan service. If you ask me, I don't really mind because I'm the fan and I'm being served. I'm the fan and I'm being served. So I won't really look into like the fan service problem of Genshin because I think look, it's a game. They're trying to sell their characters. So like there's fan service everywhere for sure. But Raiden's design, if you ask about me, I'm actually not the biggest fan of Raiden's design, surprisingly. Like I would get cancelled about this on Twitter, but generally I'm not the biggest fan of Raiden's design. So a few good things about her design. She's got like the electricity symbol everywhere, like it reflects on her status as the Archon of Inazuma. She's got like a lot of purple in her design, which is well the electro element in Genshin. So her design color, the color scheme fits very well with her vision, like with her element, and also has some like electro symbols in here and there. The problem with her design is that I think, even though I just said I wouldn't really talk about 3D models, I think it's significant enough that I would like to talk about it. So she has a problem which I think kind of downgraded her design. Here's what I mean. So if you look at her 3D model, like I don't think this is a 3D model mistake. I think this is genuinely just because like she's intended to be designed this way. So I look at her 3D model as well. So personally, I think this like dripping down, it feels a little bit too baggy. If you ask me, I think it's a little bit too baggy. I personally am not a big fan of like this part being very baggy because it kind of downgrades her character design in the sense that she doesn't feel as powerful. She doesn't feel as stoic. Because like generally, if you look at a character that's like very powerful, stoic, they might have clothes that are more tight. Because baggy clothes are generally associated with like a little bit of like laziness, a little bit of like relaxed. Baggy clothes are oftentimes associated with like relaxation and like the comfort of it. So I think the fact that she has like baggy shoulders, like the clothes on her, kind of makes her feel a lot less Archonish because she feels a lot more relaxed because of this like baggy style of her clothing, which I'm not the biggest fan of because I believe that like Raiden as a character, even though she has her soft side, like I get it, I'm not the biggest fan of Raiden Shogun, but even if we were to look up at it as like she has soft side, I still kind of think that it's like way too relaxed, like over here. It gives out the relaxation vibes, which I don't think it should be represented this way. Because her whole character, especially with the introduction, like she's everything about like a tyrant, a person who doesn't know much about her people. She's trying to learn, but with like all the incorrect ways. She's very powerful. She's like one of the strongest archons on the whole Teyvat. and she slashes a lot, like she slays, right? But then the baggy clothes kind of makes it feels like she's a lot more relaxed and laid back than she actually is. So I don't like this part about her design, which is why I think it really downgraded her design by a lot. That's just my personal opinion. So let's look at the rest of the parts of her design. This braid over here, as I said, for basically every character, it's good because it adds volume. It adds a lot of volume. But if you ask me, I feel like I'm not sure, because like as a combat focused Archon, I feel like this braid would probably be like very distractive with her like in combat, but still good regardless. It gives her a lot of volume. But at the same time, the braid also has the same problem with me saying that like the shoulder clothes are a little too baggy, because her braid is so big that it feels baggy, like it feels very heavy, which kind of conflicts with her being like a speedy Archon. Like you have to be speedy in combat, right? You have to be speed and strong in combat. You have to be the strongest, like one of the strongest Archons alive. But then her very long and very bulky braid kind of makes me feel like that her design is a lot more bulky than she should be, because she is meant to be speedy, she's meant to be powerful, but her design has a lot of baggy parts, which I think actually kind of like complex, like it kind of doesn't complement her like character design as in lore well. But I know a lot of people are gonna like disagree with me. I know I'm gonna like get disagreed by so many people, but I'm still gonna say this because it's, well, just my personal opinion, and it doesn't like it doesn't mean her design's bad. Her design is not bad. It's just that my personal opinion is that it's a little bit too baggy, it's a little bit too bulky, especially her hair and her shoulders, which is why I think I personally don't like Raiden Shogun's design. I don't like her design because of this. Like these two parts is enough to make me kind of like reluctant towards her design. I'm not a fan of it. But I know a lot of people who are fans of Raiden Shogun's design. And especially when she pulled the sword out of her, booba. But overall, I think it's okay. But am I a fan of Raiden Shogun's design? Nah. I am not a fan of her design. But are a lot of people fan of her design? Yes. Let's look at the next region. Now we're moving on to the next region, Sumeru. So Sumeru is the region where a lot of like controversy about character design started, and it's mainly because of like character skin color. But my personal opinion on this is that like yes, they should have a lot more dark skinned character, especially in Natlan, because like look. But it's a Chinese company, and unfortunately the beauty standards in China is like be as white as you can be, and yeah, a lot of those characters are way too white, I agree. But let's just look at it as like, let's just ignore like the skin color problem and look at their character design overall. So let's look at Cyno. Let's see, Cyno is a character that I really like. His design is a little bit more simple, like it's not like overcrowding, even though there's like still a lot of like details here and there. But I believe Cyno's character design is relatively simple compared to other Genshin characters. But even though I just said like I love complicated designs, I think it still works really well because of this huge like Anubis themed wolf mask. It really fits him well because like his significance to like Anubis and like Sumeru, everything about it, it looks really good. It gives a lot more volume to his character. It gives him the visual guidance that we needed. It gives him a very strong focus and represents his character very well as like someone who is like associated with the Desert King and being associated with like the Anubis and like real life mythology. It's really well designed. I really like how they did justice with like his exposed skin parts. It's very nice because in the desert, you would definitely want as less clothes as possible. However, I think like these look very heavy, I guess. Maybe it's not the best idea to wear this in the desert. But regardless, I think it's a very good balance because like at least they kind of gave him like exposed skin, which really fits his character of being like a desert person, I'd say. Yep. He's got a lot of gold in here, which is like a lot of a strong accessory, and there's like a lot of gold in here, which I think represents. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong again. I think this is pretty in line with like Egypt mythology. Like it's pretty in line with Egypt mythology. I think on Egypt wall arts, they also got these kind of like golden accessories. They've got these accents everywhere. So I think his character, like, there's not a lot about it, like, there's not a lot about his character that I can talk about, honestly, but his design is, like, pretty good. He has a strong design, and I think it's pretty good in general. It's not my favorite, but I think it's pretty, like, it's a pretty reflective and a pretty strong design. Next one, Nilou. Let's see, Nilou. Now, I think that Nilou's design is very, very aesthetically pleasing. I absolutely love how they added a lot of like golden accessories on head. It makes it a lot less boring, and I need to shout out to Hoyoverse for giving her such a different hair color, because it happens a lot in Hoyoverse's designs that like whatever element that character is, they must have that element's color all over them. Like it has to be with that color scheme. But Nilou made kind of a difference. Like her hair color is blue, like red, and a very, very bright, like her hair color is red and a very bright red, which kind of isn't the same with blue. It isn't exactly the same as blue, obviously. Like it doesn't fit in with blue, right? But it's actually a really good touch. Like I think it's very unique. Finally, a character that doesn't have like everything about her colors being in line with her vision. Like just because she's hydro, like she's blue, doesn't mean that she has to have blue hair as well. And if she would to have blue hair, I feel like this design would have been much more boring. But just because she has such a bright color of her hair, like a red, which is like, it's not oversaturated, which I love. Like it's not overly saturated. It's not like exactly 255 red, right? But it's significant enough that it differentiates her hair with the rest of her design, which makes her stand out a lot. Like it's very refreshing to see this in like a game where like a lot of the characters just somehow have like the same color scheme with their vision. I'd say that I absolutely love these kind of like frills or like drips, like strips in here. I love it. It gives her a lot more flow. It gives her more visual flow. Kind of makes her design go this way, and you can feel it because she's a dancer. So when she dances, her like clothes just like a lot of her layers of clothes can just like spread apart, and it would give it a really, really good visual flow. And I absolutely love the layering of her clothes. There's thin, there's fake ones, but all of them complements it such that when she dances, you know for sure it's gonna flow onto the air. It's gonna like flow like a flower. She's gonna be very elegant in dancing because there's a whole lot of layers, not just like one single dress. She has a lot of layers, which is very nice in like a dancing position, making her fabrics like flow with her. Gives her a lot more volume. Gives her a lot more visual attraction when she dances. So I'd say I love her design. I love it. And I love her ribbon over here. Like, it gives her a little bit of like accessory, golden accessory here and there, which reflects that she's like a prestigious dancer. And also because I'm pretty sure, I'm not too sure about this, I think Nilou is inspired by Persian culture, and I think this is very reflective on it. I absolutely love these representations on her design. If you ask me, I personally think the horns are a really good touch, but with her whole design, I feel like it's a little bit random, I guess. Like, I know I just said that Mona's witch hat reflects her really well, but I think Mona's witch theme has like such a big significance. You can just look at it and know, oh, she's definitely a witch. But when you look at Nilou, you wouldn't think she's like cosplaying the flower goddess. You would just think, oh, maybe she's like a goat, maybe she's like a sheep and she naturally has horns. It kind of feels a little random, I'd say, like a little random unless you know much about her characters. And given how much lore skippers there are in Genshin community, I feel like maybe a lot of people still don't know what her horns are actually about, I guess. Other than that, I like Nilou's design. I think in general it's pretty good. The best focus of her design, like my favorite part, is definitely her dress and how her hair color isn't like exactly blue or anything similar to blue. I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, everyone, your parents turned your Wi-Fi off? No, it's okay. See you next time. Let's see, Nahida. Well, of course, onto the Archon of Sumeru, Nahida. I think Nahida's design is it's okay. It's okay. Like, it's green enough. Is enough nature. Like, there's enough Dendro nature in here that makes me feel like, oh, she's the Dendro Archon. There's enough like leaf accents in here. Like, there's a little bit of this flower symbol in her eyes, which is, I think, is a very great touch. There's a leafy accessory here. Her hair is a little bit of green. And there's like a little bit of like a spiky but also leafy accessory in here. Like, the leaf is kind of like that, right? Her design is pretty much about her being the Archon of Sumeru. But if you ask me, I think even though I like her design, I think it's a little bit weak compared to other characters that we just reviewed. It's a little bit weak, like it's quite simple, I'd say. Like, there's a lot of detail in here, but there's not much about her design that makes her silhouette stand out, which kind of makes it feel like she's like, her dress is a little bit like a blob. Her cape definitely saved the day. Like, her front view, again, didn't do her justice because her back view actually looks pretty damn good. Let's see, let's get a back view of her. Let's get a back view of her. Let's see, can we get a picture of her? Okay, I've got a picture of her back view, let's see. Oh, it's a little bit blurry. Anyways, her cape really saved the day because her dress is very much just like a regular plain dress. It's like a blob. There's not a lot of layers going on. There's not a lot of like separation between each like fabric flap. Doesn't give a lot of flap. So it kind of feels like it's just like one plain dress, but her cape kind of saved the day because without her cape, she would have felt much more bland. Her cape kind of gives her the visual flow, it kind of gives her more like smoothness to her animations, it gives her more flow. The cape seriously saved the day. I'm not the biggest fan of Nahida's design because I think it's a little bit too plain to be an Archon. There's a lot more they could have done with her. They could have gave her a lot more like dress layers, I think. But I would like to say that she actually has a really good touch in here. So I've read a little bit about it. Apparently, the reason why she has these like kind of golden accessories above her foot is because apparently when she walks, this edge over here will like kind of poke and well stab her foot, which is reflective on the lore of how she was tortured by her own people. And I think like when you know about this lore and when you actually read so much about it that you know this detail about her foot piece, it's a really good detail. Like it reflects about her experience, it reflects about her lore. So personally, I'd say that this is a pretty good piece. And I'd say that her foot piece, like her accessory is pretty good because she like her silhouette already feels a little bland. It's a little bit like a regular dress, a regular form, but her foot piece kind of gives her way more variety. Like it gives her more silhouette, it gives her more volume. You can see that it's not just like 2 foot. Let's say this is the foot, right? It also gives her like a little bit of frill here, gives her more like interesting features. I say this is a pretty good touch. But overall, am I the biggest fan of Nahida's design? No. I think that like, as someone who really likes detailed and like, you know, maybe crowded and detailed design, I don't think Nahida's design is my favorite. It's not like what I really like. But overall, I still like her design. I think it's okay. It's just that, not the biggest fan of it. Yeah. Let's see. Oops, I've got a tier list. Oh, uh-oh. Where's my tier list? I need my tier list back. Where's my tier list? Please give me my tier list back. Okay, there's my tier list. Moving on to my personally, moving on to my personal favorite region, both lore and design-wise, is Fontaine. This is a pretty cold take because like everyone says Fontaine's design is peak. Like a lot of people say Fontaine's design is peak, the story is peak, and I think a lot of people say this for a very good reason. Like Fontaine's design is absolutely gorgeous. This story is absolutely a little bit of heartbreaking, but also very interesting. It feels like Fontaine is such like a different story from the rest of Genshin Impact. Fontaine has a story that really focuses on Fontaine and the crisis they're going through. It also focuses on their Archon and how the people work together a lot. The character development's sufficient, it has a lot of depth, and the design's great, which we're about to talk about. So, let's start with Neuvillette, shall we? I'm gonna say hi, hello, Hito! Do you wanna stay and review Genshin character designs together? We kind of need someone to also review it together. Because everyone else left. Okay, let's see. Neuvillette. He's the judge of Fontaine. Like, he's the highest judge of Fontaine. The Archies Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale. I don't know French. Let's have someone who knows French pronounce this instead. But his design says a lot about Ocean. I really like his design. I think his design is absolutely peak. So let's start with the frills, because I think that's a pretty significant part about his design, albeit pretty subtle. He has a lot of frills in here, like a lot of frills in his design here, even though it looks subtle. So I think these kind of frills actually like work very, very well for his design because they kind of feel like the Victorian era. They have like the him being a higher up reflects his status, reflects that he's a distinguished gentleman, reflects that he's like a royal judge, and he's like a noble person. He's a distinguished gentleman. It really says a lot about like French Victorian, and also this is the kind of outfit that you could see in like, let's say, Mozart, Beethoven, like in that era, like the people who are like very well educated in arts, the people who are like well educated, the people who are like higher ups tend to wear a lot of frills, like outfits like these, which is why I think like even though the frills are kind of subtle, I think it's powerful enough to say a lot about his status, and also emphasizes about how he's like elegant, he's distinguished, and it says a lot. Hi Accelerated, welcome to the stream. We're reviewing Genshin character designs today. So, apart from the frills, he has a huge bow tie over here. I adore this. Well, he's a noble, and nobles back then, they also wear these kind of like bow ties. If I'm editing like future style, please just like put a Victorian era male bow tie photo on here, you know? In that era, people, like some people who are like distinguished or like educated in arts, or just like males in general, they do wear bow ties. So it reflects about the setting of one mix of modern suits, I'd say. And he uses a really long trail, which I like it because again, I talked a lot about visual flow in this video, but for a very good reason, because personally I love to add visual flow in my art. Like I love caves, and I love like how to emphasize the visual flows of like clothes especially. So I think that these kind of like longer extended suits and dresses gives them a lot of more personality, like apart from just a suit. Let's say if his suit was a lot shorter, like a regular modern suit, it doesn't give him as much flow. Now it gives him like a lot more flow because of his suit. So I'd say it's a really good addition. It's a really good addition, and also because of like the suit being very long and like it being layered, also says a lot about his status. Because like if you're not rich, you can't afford like clothes that are like that has a lot of layers, right? So I'd say that his suit reflects a lot on his status. Also, there's a lot of detail in here. Like I absolutely love the blue like saturated accents in here. It's subtle enough that like it's not saturated a lot, but it's also subtle enough that you can tell like, oh, it kind of has like some details in here, and also these kind of particles. And it feels like his suit is much more shiny, gives him a lot more features, I'd say. Onto the boots. I heard somewhere that like I never noticed it actually, but I heard somewhere that this isn't his actual boots. So if I can find a picture of him. Apparently people are saying this isn't actually his boots. So someone told me that apparently that isn't his actual boots. That's like a little bit of like a sock, like a little bit of a sock on top of his boots. So I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I think it's interesting. Like I really love how the boots are really long. It's very refreshing, very refreshing. In fact, I love it. And also I love like how it's extended, like it's glowing and it's extended because of like how usually Archons, they have like you know, Archons characters, they glow when they use abilities, and that reflects that Neuvillette is like dragon species. Like he's very powerful, just like an Archon. So that's interesting as well. And you guys remember when everyone speculated that Neuvillette was the higher Archon? Hina's search history is cooked if she searches Genshin characters' boots. Oh hell no. You and I both know what's gonna show up. Nah. Oh no. Okay. I love how a lot of his design like gradually gradients into blue. it's subtle enough, but it also like adds a lot more color to him. Golden parts, again, significance to like his royal status, like him being the higher up in the like Fontaine hierarchy. A lot of like golden accents here, and a little bit of like a water droplet here, I guess. That's interesting. This symbol over here is also like royal. It's very interesting, I love it. Okay, about his hair. His hairpiece, I'd say, I really love how he's a dragon and how when he uses his abilities, his thorns kind of glow up. But when I look at this character, would I know that they are a dragon? Not really. I feel like his eyes really did him justice. Seriously, it is such a breakthrough from like the previous models. I love it. Like it's a really huge jump through. I like it. But if you were to ask me, I think his hair pieces are not strong enough to reflect that he's like a dragon. His design screams a distinguished gentleman, someone who might be a government official, someone who's like a higher up, or someone who knows the arts very well. But does it feel like he's a dragon? Not really. But I kind of understand as well, like because if they would have just added dragon horns to his design, then everyone would have known he's a dragon, which he's not exactly wanting everyone to know about. I feel like an interesting idea though is that like maybe you could add dragon horns when he transforms. Who knows? But his hair pieces, I don't think says a lot about his dragon form. Like, it's not significant enough. But then the rest of his designs is very, very good. Like, look at this. Can you say it's not good? You cannot. This is perfect. This is actually perfect. I absolutely love his design. To be honest, I don't see the models like you do because I never played this game. That's why I'm in the rescue to analyze Genshin character designs. So you're in luck. Okay, let's look at my favorite character of all time. Let's look at the one and the Masquerade of the Guilty, Furina, the one and only Archon. Yes, I know she's technically not the Archon of Fontaine. No, in my heart, she is the Archon of Fontaine, and you cannot disagree with me. She's been the Archon for 500 years. So let's just count her as an Archon, okay? Even Hoyoverse includes her in the Archon promotion art. So let's just consider her an Archon, okay? So, onto my one and only favorite character in Genshin, and the character that I am going to C6, in fact. She's the only limited character that I'm ever going to C6. Maybe aside from Columbina, who knows, right? Her design is interesting because she has another form that is like the Ucia form with like the black outfit. But I'm just gonna look at her Numa form because I genuinely preferred her like Archon form. I absolutely love the design. And I see a lot of people debating about like the jellyfish pigtail. A lot of people say like she should have always been short hair like until here, and she should have never got this jellyfish hair. I actually disagree. Like, first of all, like I kind of have a bias over here because like, well, I love long hair characters, but I also think that like her curly hair, like the jellyfish shape, adds so much to a character. It's so much to a character. Like the curvy hair and like the jellyfish makes her feel like she's associated with the ocean, which she is because she's a Hydro Archon. So it's a very good flow. It's a very, very good visual flow. I cannot comment because I don't know what she is. Looks like a child, but probably is 3 million years old. Well, she's 500 years old. She looks like an old London style garment. Yes, and it looks absolutely amazing. So let's look at her most significant part, shall we? Which I think is the hat. So the hat is I love the design, absolutely. It's gorgeous. It looks like she's like a distinguished person. She wears like old style hats But besides that, she also has like a lot of golden accessory on here, which is reflective of her status as the Archon, and a lot of like water droplets here and there. So this is very significant because she's a Hydro Archon, just like how I mentioned that Nahida has like nature elements in her design. I think this is very reflective of her status, and I absolutely love how big these like golden parts are. I absolutely love it. There's a little bit like a ribbon in here. This is nice, and I really have to give Hoyoverse a shout out with like how much detail they add in the design. Look at this. Look at this. This is the amount of detail they added. Like holy crap, dude! Wow. This is a really good visual flow. Kind of has like a fabric dripping down, adds more volume, adds more silhouette, makes it less of a regular head, gives it more personality. I absolutely adore her at Hokage. Compared to Zhongli, because Zhongli is like supposed to be a very like serious person, but Furia is not. She's a drama queen. Like she's a huge drama queen, as reflected in her introduction, her quest, and like her being an opera singer. She's a fun person. She's a huge drama queen. So this one, Hokage, kind of gives her like a lot of focus. Like it's very exaggerative. It exaggerates her character, which is exactly what she is. She exaggerates her performance. She's exaggerating everything. She's an exaggerating person, and I absolutely love this. Like it just reflects her character so well. When you look at it, you might think, huh, this is a fun character. This is an interesting character. She's maybe very outgoing. She's maybe active. This is pretty much reflected by this one at Hokage, I'd say. I like the gold accent that matches and adds the whole garment together. Definitely, the gold is such a good detail on her. I would have said that like, I am so glad that Hoyoverse went with gold instead of silver, because if they went with silver, her design would have been much more mid. Like now that it's gold, it has a different hue from blue. It fits really well. Like gold is just really good on her because like she's got a lot of the blues, whites, and like silvery grays in here. If these details or decorations would have been silver, it would have been much more mid, you know? But gold is absolutely perfect for her. And it's also in the sense that like gold is reflective of someone's royal status, someone being really rich, someone who's rich enough to be like a higher up that's like really rich. So she is that, I'd say. If it was silver, her hair wouldn't have stood out. Yeah, definitely. Hi Memory, welcome to the stream. Love your videos, thank you. We're reviewing Genshin characters today. We have like what? We have like 8 characters to go. We're almost done. Like we're like 2/3 done. About her outfit, let's move on to her outfit. Oh, actually, let's not. About her eyes, I absolutely love how they did like a water droplet in her eye, which is also, I'm pretty sure it happened with Nahida, Mavuika, Zhongli as well. Like they all added these kind of like patterns in their eyes, which is reflective of their Archon status. I love it. And I really like how they added like another color to her eyes, like hetero something. I don't know English well. I absolutely love it because it really reflects that she has 2 sides to her. She's got the Archon side of her, which is like all powerful, like seeming to be like a celebrity, like someone who's all powerful, who can protect her people, someone who's a celebrity and sees her people often, someone who people look up to her. But she's also got like this other side of her, which is like she's just a regular human. She's nothing more than that. She's been here for so long. She's struggling and she's like, you know, trying her best, seeking solutions, but she can't let people see that. So this is really good in the sense that it reflects she has 2 like kind of personality around her. I love this detail on her. On to her suit. I love her suit so much. I really love this part, like this flap and all the layers on it. I absolutely love the layering going on her suit. Even in the inside, look, there's a lot of layering. It just says how royal she is, how much of like a higher up she is, how like artistic she is, how distinguished she is in like the French Victorian era. I'd say it suits really well. Really love it. There's a lot of layers going on her suit, and I absolutely love it. Because again, it gives her so much more layers, it makes it feel less bland, it gives her more visual flow. It's very, very nice. I absolutely love it. On to her actual suit. I really love how they gave her a suit. Originally I thought that, hey, maybe in like the French Victorian era based like region, I thought they might give her like a huge dress, but they didn't. Like they give her a suit, which is very refreshing. Like it's not often that a female character gets a suit, you know? But they did it really well. Like apart from just giving her like a suit, a short, which is typically what modern males wear instead of females. Typically, okay? Just typically, okay? They gave her a suit, which is very interesting. I love this choice, absolutely. But they also remained like the Victorian era exaggerated clothing part, which is like this part. All these sort of like layering makes it so that it looks like a dress and a suit all together. So it's interesting, like it's not just a suit, it also has like a dress flowy flap in here. This is very well done. Like it combines suit and dress so well. I like this. This is quite nice. I really like this. And in her Osea form, see, she has a vision in here. So that's very interesting as well. She's got like little droplets here and there, droplets in her clothes, everywhere, like in here, 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 here. There's a lot of droplets everywhere. And that's pretty much reflective of her being the Hydro Archon, because Hydro is water, and what better way to represent water than with droplets? So that is representative of her status. I really like her design. I really like it. It's a breath of a fresh air. It's not just like a skirt. It's not just like really short skirts. It's a suit and like a little bit of like a long flap combined. She also has a bow tie at the back, and her back design is very worth mentioning as well, which I feel like I have to put her back view on the screen right now. So let's see. Let's get a better image. Is there a better image? Okay, we've got a pretty good image over here. This is a pretty good photo because it's like her Osea form. Well, I've only got her Osea form photo. Unfortunately, I couldn't find her Numa form, but this is also good because it lets us see the details about her hair. So, her back view. I love this part. In game is a lot more saturated than this photo, but you know, I tried. I love this. There's a huge water droplet here, which I really like. I feel like details like this that are representative of the character should be a lot more larger. And this is like, okay, I hope it would have been larger, but it's okay, like it's enough. These detail, absolutely amazing. Water droplets in here and like golden details reflective of her status again. A lot of layering in here. Which again, I said that like I think it looks really well in the sense that it kind of represents a little bit of like, it resembles a little bit of like a skirt, but also gives her so much more detail and like layering. On to the back to the front view. Again, I've mentioned this with Neuvillette design. There's a lot of like frills in here, which is a nice touch, just like why I said about like, just like how I talked about Neuvillette design. It's a really good touch. Although there's one thing I would personally change about Farina's design, which is actually the size of the accessories. If there's one thing I could change about Farina's design though, I'd say that I would definitely enlarge the size of accessories a lot more. For example, I'd say the frill in general should be a little bigger. This rubber droplet should be a lot larger. This should be a little bit like bigger. I'd say it would look better if it was bigger. This is fine, like this is subtle, it's meant to be subtle. This thing over here should be way larger. Like it should be like this large actually. It would add so much to her character. It would be as subtle and you don't have to like squeeze into her design to find out that she has a lot of water droplets, right? This should have been a lot larger. And I wish that her bow tie was a little bit larger. That would be great. This part I wish it was larger as well. But that's about it. Like I don't think there's anything, honestly, there's nothing you could change about her design apart from like her like accessory sizes, which is a personal preference for me. I would have preferred if her accessories were larger, but that's just me. Like it doesn't mean that it has to be. I think this is also great. To be honest, the accessories being small gives the subtle vibes of her being cute. That is actually true as well. Like I love this opinion on her. Like I love how you gave a different perspective on it. Yeah, I think that also reflects on her being like a cutesy person, I guess. Just that personally, I would enlarge it by a lot, but that's still good. Like her design is my second favorite design, I think. Her design's second to the other design that I'm about to talk about actually. She's one of my favorites, like she's the second in line. The single best design in Genshin Impact, in my opinion, is Navia. Look, I don't main Navia. I pulled for her. I don't even like play her that much anymore because of meta. But I really think that like even though I'm a huge Furina stan, like I C6 her, like I play her, I main her, everything. Navia, in my opinion, is the single best design in Genshin Impact. In my opinion, just in my opinion. Draw Light Yagami later. I don't draw characters without like, unless I feel like drawing them. Like I don't draw characters that I don't know, and I don't draw characters that I like am suggested to draw. Like I only draw when I feel like it, right? Good night, Hina. Good night. Good night. So about Navia's design, the umbrella is absolutely adorable. She gives out the Lolita vibes. She has like a huge Lolita vibe in her suit and like in her dress. I absolutely adore it. That's because I love Lolita stuff and I love stuff like that. That's reflected in my own character design as well. Like you can kind of see that my design is like cutesy vibe. It has like a little bit of frills to it. It has a suit as well. Like it's kind of like, you know, it's pretty similar to Furina. That one bow tie over my suit is inspired by Furina, you know. So it's pretty reflective. I love her vibe. I love her style a lot, in fact. I absolutely love how detailed her umbrella is, how much bow ties it has on her, and how much frills it has on her umbrella. This is really nice, I love it. Even her umbrella screams that she's like a Lolita vibe and has a lot of like frills all over her design as well. So let's look into her actual design, not the umbrella. So I absolutely love these curves about her hair. It really feels like she's like a you know, a boss. She's like a, you know, how do I say that? She's kind of like, you know, a girl who has like a lot of status. She dresses up every day as reflected in her curls. Like imagine these curls in real life. You have to like take so long to dress up for these kind of curls, right? And these curls over here, they're so strong as well. I love it. I really, really love it. These swirls, I think, is perfect in reflecting that she's like a mafia boss, but also like a like it's reflective in the sense that you can feel that she's like a Lolita. She's someone who dresses up a lot. She's like a higher up, I guess. Her hat, I love her hat. I really like it. I absolutely love how they added like the feather on here, which is pretty reflective of like the fashion in the real life era. Like as a real life reference, it's pretty reflective, and also like this huge hat. It's also kind of like how women dressed back then, and I absolutely adore it. I love it. Her color scheme is like something that I really love. Now my favorite color is pink. Blue is like one of my second favorite colors. The yellow's not actually, but I still think her design is like so good because it fits so well. Like navy blue and yellow, it fits so well. I love it. She's got like this wheel over here, like this steering. Like she's got this steering wheel over here. Like how she controls the ships in Fontaine, like she does in the trailer. So this is very interesting. I love this detail. And I think Navia is the reason why I said Furina's accessories should have been larger, and probably this was the reason why I preferred Navia's design, because like her bow ties, the frills, accessories are much larger than it is on Furina's design, which I think is stood out so well. Like it stood out so well. I really think this was done so well. I love how they like put some layering in here. Like they didn't just slap like a whole like navy blue in her torso. They didn't just call this a day. They added more detail in between like two pieces of fabric. This adds so much detail. This has so much layers. It's very nice. I love it. And I like her short skirt actually. I like it because she has some high boots. Her high boots really complements her short skirt well, and kind of like a little skirt, I guess. It really complements her well. Even her boots, she's got so much like accessories here. There's a lot of negative space in here. Gives her so much breathing space instead of just like adding way too much like detail in here. Let's say if today we added like a lot of detail here, that would actually be worse because that doesn't give enough negative space and doesn't give enough like breathing area for this character. The pearls on here are a pretty good touch. You know, a symbol of being rich. I mean, she is, well, even though in lore we kind of discovered that her gang isn't actually that rich, but her dressing up like that kind of really gives us the first impression that she is rich, like she's a mafia boss, even though later we discover she's not quite, I guess. Her gloves, I love it. I love her gloves. Very detailed. Very detailed. And again, like those blue accessories is visible enough. It's enough of a contrast from the rest of her design that is very visible. So overall, I'd say that I absolutely love her design and how it looks at the back side as well. It looks so good. Really. Navia's design is my personal favorite, #1 in Genshin Impact, I think. Probably. I think she's my favorite character design. So let's say that I really love her design. I hope other people, I hope comments would agree with me. She's very well designed. But that's just my opinion, like you can just disagree. That's just my opinion. Moving on, after such peak designs, we are about to move on to land where Genshin designs had most controversies, which is of course Natlan, partially because of the skin color problem, but then I think the main problem is really about like the character design, the fashion design. Do I think Natlan designs were good? In my opinion, not really. Like, I know this isn't a hot take. Like, everyone says that Natlan's shit. I don't think it's shit, but it's definitely not good. Like, for me. So let's start with someone that I actually think is a pretty good design, which is Mualani. It's actually also why I included her design in here, because I think her design is actually pretty good. Like, she's one of the designs in Natlan that I think I love it. So we're gonna talk about her as well. So we have the surfer, Miss Mualani here. She is I love her design for a few reasons. First of all, her accessories are big enough that I can see them. It is very large. It's very exaggerative. So it really reflects on her lively personality. It's big enough, it's like exaggerating, it's like lively. The colors I think is very nice. Overall, she kind of stuck with the blue theme of Hydro, which although I mentioned in Nilou that she was a breath of fresh air because like she didn't really go with like everything has to be blue. I think it actually suits Mualani pretty well. Like her hair having some places that are blue, her headband being blue, and also like her general outfit just being blue. I think it looks good because she also has some other colors going on. She has some pink, she has some yellow, blah blah blah. So she's a pretty good introduction to like the vibes of Natlan. Albeit, do I think this character design is actually reflective of what Natlan was supposed to be, like the region of war? I don't think so. But is this design good as in like it reflects Mualani? Yes, definitely. Like her design is as lively as it gets. There's a lot of colors going on, there's a lot of like, you know, subtle details that makes her feel very lively about her design. I love these kind of like shapes and small details in here. I think it reflects her character really well. She's lively. And I like her outfit as well. Like, I like how she's living by like a, you know, seaside, and her outfit is like ready to go on the water because she surfs all the time. Like, her outfit looks like she's ready to go down the water. This part especially, albeit if you ask me if this is like something that you would wear under the water, I don't think so, but in general, I think her design is like enough such that she can just go to the water right now. I love it. I love how they added fish accessories as well, here and there. There's a lot of fishes going on. That's also reflective of Mualani's character being like ocean themed and being surfing themed. I absolutely love it. And one thing about her character design is that they have this motif all over, just like this one pattern of free like little frills over here. I love how they reused this motif a lot, regardless of if it's like a little bit subtle or if it's like large, huge. I really like how they kept her like details coherent. I like it. Overall, I'd say Mualani's design is not my favorite. It's not even close to my favorite designs. But I think she's okay. She's pretty good. I like her design. Like, she is a good design. And a pretty good introduction to Natlan, actually. Shilonen. Right. Okay, Shilonen. So she's a bit of like, she's a jack of all trades, even in lore. She's like kind of a leopard, she's like a lazy person. She like works with mechanics, but she's also a DJ for some reason. So she's a little bit of everything. She doesn't have like a very specific theme on her, which I think it's a little bit different from the usual style of Genshin character designs, because usually Genshin characters, they have like a specific theme all around them, but Shilonen's is a bit like a jack of all trades. She's a bit lazy, but she's also a leopard, she's also like a DJ, she's also a mechanic. So yeah, she's a little bit of everything, and I think that is pretty much reflected in her design. Her design is also a little bit of everything, I'd say. First of all, we get to know that she's like a leopard because of her tail and her ears, which I'm not sure if it was talked about in lore, but I think it's a pretty good design. Like, I like the colors that's going on here. Like, I love how detailed it is. I think it looks pretty good on her. Her hairstyle, I absolutely adore it. Even though if you ask me, I think her hairstyle kind of fits a lion more than a leopard, in my personal opinion. I feel like it would really fit a lion character. Not necessarily a leopard, but this hair is kind of messy, right? But it's really good because like her character's meant to be a little bit lazy, a little bit of like messy person, and her hairstyle really says a lot about it, and I absolutely love it. I really like her hairstyle. I think it looks really good. Her eyes, I love her eyes. I think it's really, I love how Genshin did with Shilonen's eyes. Like, finally it's not just like one color eye, not just one color like eyeshadow, but she actually has a lot of colors going on her like eyelashes, which is great. And she also has this like red lipstick, which isn't actually very common in other characters, but I think it's a pretty good touch. I like it. It gives her some personality. And I love how her eyelashes are like really long. I like it a lot. I'd say for her fashion design though, do I like the jeans? Like, oh, this feels kind of wrong. Respectfully, do I like her jeans? Not really. For a place like Natlan, that is interpreted as like a nation of war, and also how like Fontaine was supposed to be like the most, you know, technologized region, I feel like Shilonen's jeans doesn't really fit well with the vibes of Natlan, because Natlan was the region like that's supposed to be like isolated from every single region, and jeans in real life is a pretty modern thing. People before didn't really wear much jeans, right? So that's a little bit like her character, I guess. She works with mechanics, even though Fontaine was allegedly supposed to be the region was like, which is the most like not civilized, but like the most technologically advanced. So I guess Shilonen kind of just like beat the trend of, and like the lore of how Fontaine was supposed to be the most advanced region, because well, she has genes and she works with mechanics. I'd say that her jacket is great. I love her jacket. It gives her a lot of silhouette. She has huge furs over here, which is pretty reflective of her being a leopard. I really like it. There's a lot of fur in here as well, adds a lot more details. I like it. And I actually like this detail about her. She has a lot of like glitter in her thighs. I really like it. Like, it adds detail to her. Like, I guess there's not much significance to these glitter, but I think it's a really good decoration. I really like it. And I like her nails as well. It's golden and it has a lot of accessory. Oh, and her heels. I love her heels. Like, it's very spiky, it's very tall. I really like the design of her heels. And I guess it kind of suits her because she just kind of, you know, she just wants to be lazy. She doesn't want to fight, she doesn't want to do like much stuff. So, you know, she can get away with heels. Like, she doesn't have to really fight in a war, right? Overall, do I like Shilonen's design? It's okay. As I said, it's jack of all trades. It's like a little bit of everything. There's nothing about her design that seriously stands out apart from the hair, I say. So the downside of like her design being a bit of everything is that she's really just a bit of everything. There's not much about her design that screams about Xiaolin and about who she is. So overall, I think Xiaolin's design is good, but it isn't like very great. But I like it. I think it's okay. Righto. Let's see, can I get a picture of her? Can I? Please? Is there not a better image of her? Is there not, dude? Okay. This may or may not be the single most controversial character in the whole Genshin Impact. If not her, it's Vereza. If not Vereza, it's her. She's probably the single most controversial character of the whole Genshin Impact franchise, and actually for a pretty good reason. If you ask me if I like her design, not really. The only thing I like about her design is really her hair. Her hair stands out a lot. I think it looks really good. Like, the fact that her hair lights up into fires, it's very unique. I like how her hair gradually flows into like a yellowish tone, which is just like real fire, right? Fire does gradually flow into like a lighter color or just dissipate in the air, right? So her hair is pretty reflective of a real fire, and I think all these kind of like flowy stuff gives her a lot of volume. I really like her hair. I think her hair is really well done. However, her outfit is disappointing, I'd say. Is her character overall okay? I'd say it's like okay, it's like a pass, but it's hard carried by her hair. Because her outfit's just not it. I'd say that really, she's supposed to be the Archon of War. Her nation's in war at all times. She's supposed to, you know, like be in war at all times. But her wearing like a tights and like bodysuit, it's kind of weird. Like it isn't what an Archon of War should wear. It feels a little weird because when you look at it, she doesn't feel like a fighter. She feels like a motorcyclist. Especially because she has a motorcycle. If you ask about me, like the motorcycle problem of Mavrika, I'd say it's a little bit of a half-half to me. Like because Genshin was never really meant to be like medieval era, so I guess you can argue that like having a motorcycle isn't that big of a deal. But her design combined with like the fact that she rides a motorcycle, does she feel like the Archon of War? 100% no. Like she feels more like a motorcyclist. The tight suit doesn't say anything about war. There's nothing about her that reminds me of war. Like there's nothing really. Maybe these kind of like spikes over here kind of tells me that maybe she has a royal status, maybe she's rich. She has a lot of accessories, I guess. But there's a glasses of hers, there's a suit of hers. She really feels more like a motorcyclist. That said, I actually believe that having a slightly tighter outfit suits her more because her hair is so voluminous. So because like since her hair is so voluminous, I think it would actually fit her better if she didn't have like bulky outfits. So I think that like having ties is okay. However, really this suit feels more of a motorcyclist. It says nothing about war. There's nothing about war in this outfit, absolutely nothing. So that's why I think Mavrika's design really is very disappointing. Like her fashion outfit is disappointing. Do I like it as in like a character? I like it, but does it fit Mavuika as the Archon? I don't think so, which is a bad thing about character design because it's supposed to fit her as the Archon of War and she's highly anticipated. So this design, I kind of get why people are like disappointed by it. I definitely get it because she looks more of like a race cyclist, you know, not like an Archon. But actually, because of this, I actually, you know, but you know how I just said I don't think she fit as a Archon of War? I actually have a better idea. In light of this, there is actually a character that I think their design fit more than Mavuika as a Archon of War. So I did a little bit of edit. So if you can't recognize, in case you can't recognize, this is Dehya. And I did this design because I really genuinely think Dehya's design is the way better fit of an Archon of War compared to Mavuika. So you see, Dehya's design, she has a little bit of armor, she has a little bit of gold. Even her outfit, like her tops, screams about Natlan. Even though, well, she's from desert, so she also has like very, you know, like breathable outfits. I think her outfit having like a lot of armors, the boots, and like all these kind of like spikes in here and all those armors. Even though personally I would just enlarge this a whole lot more. She is a better fit than Mavuika as the Pyro Archon. Let me just be real honest over here. I think Dehya's outfit design is perfect for Mavuika. So you know what I did? I just slapped Mavuika's hair on her. And to my surprise, well, not really, I think she fit really well. Look at her. I think she really fits Mavuika. In my opinion, I think Mavuika should have looked a little bit more like this. She should have looked a little bit more like a warrior. Right now, she looks like a cyclist. You know, like F1 racing cyclist, I guess. This is more like an Archon of War. And you know, how many... Okay, let me give you a pop quiz. How many characters can you spot in this one edit? There's 4. That's Mavuika, that's Dehya, and that's Diluc and his giant like phoenix. And that's from the other game. Wrong game. Anyways, I genuinely think that like Hoyo should have done something like Dehya's character design because it just simply fits Mavuika way more than she currently looks like. And it's not even about the skin color. Like, first of all, the skin color is inaccurate for obvious cultural reasons. But second of all, just look at her outfit. She screams nothing about Archon of War. But that's about it. Like, I think Mavuika has her good upsides. Like, her hair definitely is a great touch. I absolutely love her hair. It is so well done. But the costume really disappointed me. Right. Veresa's up next, and she may or may not be the second most controversial character, just right after Mavuika, or she might be actually the most controversial character. Who knows? They're kind of, you know, on there. Them both are the most controversial characters, and I can see why. So about Veresa's character design, I think the main argument about her is that she's like a fetishized character. I see the main argument about Veresa is that apparently she's a fetishized character. Her body type is like meant to sell for male players. To me, do I agree with this? It's a little bit of half. Like, I think this body type probably does exist in real life, and I think it's really a breath of fresh air to see like a new body type in Genshin, because like we've been with the like stick we've been like super thin like characters for the whole time, and I think that like a new body type is actually great. But that said, do I think she's a fan service? A little bit of yes and no. Like, I definitely think she is kind of fetish sized. She actually is. But about her character design, I don't even think fan service is her main problem. My main problem with Veressa is actually the color scheme. So, as reflected in Natlan's character designs, there's a lot of like bright colors going on. Like, Mualani has like a lot of bright colors in her outfit, and Mavrika also has like bright red hair. Natlan took a turn with making all the colors much more saturated with the previous regions. But the thing about Veressa is that, like, look, I love pink. I love pink, right? Even my hair is pink. Everything about my design is pink, right? But does this fit Genshin? No, absolutely no. The pink color is not even a problem, because like Charlotte mainly this turquoise color. Turquoise color isn't a problem. Like, you can do turquoise color in character designs as well, but it is so sharp. Like, this is like max saturation pulled onto the max. That makes it feel like Veressa definitely would suit more as a painter. She would be someone with like a huge personality in like art. She would be a like more suited as like a painter or something like that. Like, she doesn't feel like a character that would go to war, and she doesn't feel like a character that is like associated with real life MMA. So the problem with her is the color scheme for me. Like, everything is way too saturated, especially her teal color. It's so saturated that you can look at her and all you see is like teal. If I zoom out, you can see that the teal color clashed with the rest of her design, and I think it doesn't really fit well with Genshin. I feel like it will be a better fit for like ZZZ, personally. It doesn't even fit that well with Natlan, honestly. So the color scheme for me is the main problem. The cow horns, I actually pretty like the cow horns, because I think like it's big enough. The bell is big enough to make you see like that she's cow themed in 1 second. Like, you can just tell she's a cow. You can tell her theme in 1 second. Her braids is I think her braids is okay. Like, I like it. She's a little bit of like bulky character, I guess. So I think her hair is okay. Like, it's okay. Her sleeves, this makes no sense. It's detached sleeves, but well, it's a design. I'd say it's okay. I don't think it's that bad. Her dress, I never really talk like I never really think female characters shouldn't have short skirts or shouldn't have their design focus on like her like chest area because of like fan service. Because after all, it's a game. I'm the fan and I'm being served. But her skirt really is way too short. This one I can agree with the community. I think her skirt is way too short. This doesn't make sense at all. I feel like her skirt should at least be this long. Her skirt is way too short. I agree with the community this time. It should be a little longer, I'd say. Skirt is fine, but way too short. The rest of her design is okay. Like, she's very cutesy design. She's everything about a cute character. I don't like her design. I don't like her design at all. The redeeming factor about Mavrika is the hair. But honestly, for me, I don't see any redeeming factor in Veressa's design. And if she were to be a different character, like if she were to be in a different game, if she were not to be like a fighter or like an MMA wrestler, I would have loved her design. But there's not much that I can defend about her design, really. Like, it doesn't suit her character at all, and like
says nothing about her character. Like, there's not much I can defend. But do I think this is a good character design overall, in the sense that if she wasn't like a war-centric character and if she wasn't like an MMA-inspired character, then I think it would be a pretty good design. Unfortunately, we're in Genshin Impact, and like the world building of Natlan isn't really meant to be for character designs like her. And of course, we're finally past the most controversial region, and the last region we're gonna talk about is the new released Northcry. So we've got a few characters in here. We're gonna review Innefa, Loma, and Nefer. So Innefa's a bit of an interesting one, and I'll tell why. It's not because she's in robots. It's more so because I genuinely don't really like her design. So, Innefa is a robot character, and I think it's very well reflected in her joints. So think of it as a little bit like Herda in Honkai Star Rail. She also has like joints in her arms and legs. So this is pretty well reflected in her joints. Like, I like these kind of like joints and metal parts that kind of screams that she's a robot. This is very well done. I love this. Like, she isn't like, even though she's a humanoid robot, I love how Hoyo kept the design of her being like a metal robot. I like it. Her outfit though, I think the color scheme is it's okay, but I'm not a big fan of her hair. I think her hair colors it doesn't fit well with the rest of the design. Like, I'm not sure why. It's just that I don't really like her design, I guess. Like, she's meant to be like a robo-maid, but her hair color's different, I guess. Like, her hair color doesn't really suit the rest of the design, I'd say. So that's about her. Do I think she's badly designed? No, I think people hate on her way too much. She's not that bad. But do I like it? Not really. Like, it's not my personal favorite. Like, I don't really like her design. It's not something that I like. But is she overhated? I think that's an absolute yes. Her design's not that bad. In fact, her design's like okay, I think. Now, Loma. Loma, I think she's pretty well designed, actually. After all that shit talk, she is actually pretty well designed. I like how she has these kind of like accessories, like these kind of like drippy things, which fits her overall color scheme. I love how she isn't green. This is you know, amazing. Finally, she's not green even though she's Dendro. I think that these kind of like little fur balls over here and these like flowers, I really like it. Like, it reflects on her being like a nature person. Like, she associates with the animals. I really like these kind of like nature accents on her. She has horns. These horns are very significant. I love how big they are, especially in like her in-game form. These horns grow. It's big enough that you can just like recognize that she's a deer in the first glance. There's actually not too much to talk about of her character, hence I'm not sure what I have to talk about her, but again, I love her layering of clothes. I like it, I really like it. However, one complaint that I have about her, again, I always say that like fan service doesn't really bother me because we're the fan and we're being served. But I think Loma, her clothes really a bit too exposed, I'd say. especially in the chest area, I'd say. Like, I think it's a little bit too exposed. There's nothing wrong with like fan service because it's a game, but I wish they could have like moved this up a little bit, just a little bit. I feel like it would be great if they moved it up a little bit. This will make her look better. Not just because of like fan service problems. I think it's more so because now that there's so much like plain skin in this area, it kind of feels like that she's not as detailed in those areas, and there's like a lot of plain areas that doesn't have like decorations on it. So I'd say that like if they covered her skin a little more, like maybe until this spot, it will actually help with the overall design, because it wouldn't feel as bland in these areas and like in her thigh area, I'd say. But overall, I think it's a pretty good design. I love it. I really like it. I think Llama's well designed. Nefer. Nefer, Miss Nefer. So, Nefer is the upcoming character, well, as per livestream. She's the upcoming character of Notcry. I think her design is well done, actually. Her design is well done. So, she's, I think she's originally from Sumeru, if I'm not wrong. And her design screams Sumeru, because Sumeru is heavily associated with these triangles, these golden stuff. And I really like how she kind of has like the King Deshret like pyramid theme in her. She really feels like a Sumeru character. Even though, well, she's from Notcry. I really like her design actually. It's very detailed but also simple at the same time. Love her design too, same, I really like her design. You have to go, no worries, I'm about to end stream anyways. Have a nice day, it's okay Matt, see you next time. So her design is, I think it looks good. It's minimalistic and detailed at the same time. What I mean is that she has a lot of like golden details, especially in the hands and like her headpieces. So even though you can see like in the chest area and like the little skirts over here, it's pretty plain compared to other characters. I think it was done justice because she has so many accessories on her head. And the cape again. I love capes. Saved her design a lot actually. I really like it. So overall, I'd say I really like Nefer's design. We have to progress more into the story to truly know if her design lived up to her character. But right now, I think it looks pretty good. Like, she vibes with like the Sumeru theme, and I like it. So that's about it. Anyways, that's about all the characters that I reviewed so far, and let me know if you would like me to review more characters in the future, because there's so many characters I wanted to talk about but didn't have the time to talk about today. But let me know in the comments if you would like me to review other characters, and stay safe. Bye guys!